Welcome into an all-new episode of Panthers on Tap. I'm Curtis Rauen, joined by Bryson, Karbley, coming to you guys on a Monday night this evening. Victory Monday, that is. Panthers beat the Bucs at home to take the division lead in the NFC South. We got one down, two more to go here. Two big games coming up. Ricky will be joining us tonight. He's running a few minutes late. Give him a little bit of grace here before he gets in here. But Bryson, good to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you, Curtis. It feels good to hop on here on a Monday right after a huge win. Feels like it's still very fresh and going to be a celebratory night here. We do. I already see Katie in the chat. It's coming. It's coming. We got to wait for our guy, but It is coming. I promise.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to the victory video several times throughout. I had to rep I have to rep a Christmas sweater with a couple days before the holidays. What a big victory this weekend. We'll get into all that. As you guys know, we also will be giving away. We're in the giving spirit alongside Panthers culture. We're each giving away a ticket to this weekend's game against the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold coming to town. Let's hope he's seeing ghosts on Sunday. But we're giving away 2 tickets to that one. It'll be drawn at the end of this show. Winner will be picked. It's simple. You comment hashtag on tap in the chat, either on Twitter or YouTube. We'll get you entered. Members are automatically entered 3 times, so you do get an upper hand. So honestly, I feel like the members have been hitting these last couple times. So if you are a member, that is the way to go if you want a good chance at this thing. You can also send in a $5 super chat. That will get you an extra entry for every $5 you send in. So again, we want to thank Panthers culture, JJ Hardy. He's been a longtime guest of the show. He was with us last week when we gave away 2 tickets. And Michael Cuddy was there. I got to see him. He came up from Florida. He had some of his family sit in our seats, which was pretty cool. And then we'll be giving away another pair this week for the Seattle game. Want to shout out Talon. If I am saying that wrong, I apologize. That's our fan of the year. I got to meet him this weekend. He's a great dude. His dad ended up getting our extra seat, actually. He sat next to us, a Navy veteran. Shout out to him. We were razzing the refs all game, having fun. Hopefully I wasn't too rowdy for your dad, because I was pissed off at points in that game. So I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, man, it was fun. What an atmosphere, Bryson. I think that was the best atmosphere I've been a part of since ever going to the bank. I mean, it was electric. Everyone was in black. It was like 20-1 Panthers fans there. It might have been even more than that. It was pretty awesome. I don't know how it sounded on TV, but man, it was electric as hell for that game.
Extremely loud on TV, dude. It was awesome to hear. And I pray for Talon's dad that had to sit by you, because I know what it's like. And when Curtis has a couple beers flowing, he lets everyone know. He's letting the refs know. He's making people stand. He is not for anybody.
I was standing on my seat to get people to stand in our section.
Yeah. And I appreciate it, because that's the fire that we need in the stand sometimes. So it's never bothered me. And like I said, I think we need more of that. So yeah, I mean, on TV, you could tell, there were a lot of fans there, and it was loud through the TV. You heard it on some of the highlights that people reshared on Twitter after. The crowd was very obviously involved, and you could tell by the false starts. I mean, that we'll get into the game, but God, that offensive lineman for the Bucs had a bad game, and I'm very happy about it. And yeah, I mean, I wish I could have been there. Unfortunately, I had to do some family stuff for an early Christmas, but potentially I might go this weekend, so we'll see.
Yeah, I also want to shout out Roaring Riot. They got PD Pablo to come. That was cool as hell. Man, he's as advertised. I mean, he got everyone going at that tailgate, and there was a lot of people there. I don't know if they ended up actually closing out, but when I got there, and I didn't post the video online, but there was a line wrapped around that apartment building that they're behind at like 9. I got to the tailgate, I think 9:45 after parking. I dropped my wife and son off and then came back and the line was wrapped around the building. So good turnout for that. That was awesome. Appreciate Roaring Riot for getting that put together. They gave out towels. Panthers gave out towels. It was a really awesome experience. So shout out them. Bryson, before we get to the chat, what are you drinking tonight?
Yeah, when you came up and watched the Saints game with me, we dabbled into this beer a little bit at the Tap Yard here in Raleigh. Highland Cold Mountain from Highland Brewing in Asheville. I went and got a crowler of it. It is so good, dude. It is a winter ale. It's 5.9%. So I'm drinking it out of my retro Panthers glass here, and I got one of those leftover Kolsch's from 2 weeks ago in the cooler. If I kill this, it's only 32 ounces, so like 2 16-ounce beers, not that much. So I got a third on deck just in case.
No, that growler looks really cool too. It doesn't look like a basic one. I'm still drinking this. I mean, this beer is so damn strong. So this is Ass Over Tea Kettle from Fiddlin' Fish up here in Winston-Salem. And then I also have another one of those Christmas beers. And I didn't realize those like short ones I was drinking last week. That's like a 10% beer too. And I was wondering why I got knocked on my ass. So anyway, yeah, these are a little bit more potent than those light beers I'm usually dabbling in. So again, we'll get Ricky in here. He'll be joining us here shortly. I know we're competing with the Monday Night Football. We got Grandpa Rivers going up against Brock Purdy tonight. 14-14 so far in that one. We'll try to stay on top of that. Let's get to our chat here for a second. Fan of the year, appreciate you, Talon. Keep pounding. As always, Katie, turn me up. There we go. Oh yeah, we hit that one up already. Luke here, these refs are something else every week. They really are. We'll touch on that, I'm sure. I know I was texting Bryson and Ricky during the game, and it's so hard to tell when you're actually at the game compared to on TV, and they were kind of explaining to me some of those calls were pretty fair, but a couple of those had me pretty pissed off. Underground West, Bryce looked like a magician out there. Appreciate you. Yes, he did. We'll talk about that. Corey, cheers, fellas. First time joining live. I always watch the rewatch on X. Appreciate you, Corey, for being there. Cheers to you, sir. I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, man. And I'm going to add you. I see your next comment, your on-tap comment there. I'm going to add you to the giveaway as well.
Love the sweater. Cheers for Mile High. Panthers fans, keep pounding. Appreciate you guys. Corey's in there. Curtis, why aren't you wearing something on your head? Stay tuned for that victory video. Carter, appreciate you. Bank was rocking, without a doubt. Stadium was loud as hell on TV. Watching live tonight. Finally able. Hashtag on tap. Appreciate you, sir. I love the first-timers in here.
Cheers, man. Panthers winning, bringing us all together.
Bryson will be on out of that growler before Ricky gets on.
Probably so.
Yeah, had a good time. Said the poor Bucs fans in front of you guys were getting it from the section. Yeah, that guy was a trooper. I think he was from Raleigh. He was wearing a Mike Evans jersey. He was right in front of us, like the only Bucs fan in our section. Really, it seemed like he was giving it to us back. But yeah, that was good. Pat him on the back and tell him good luck next time. After that one. Katie, a couple points where it felt like the stadium was shaking. Katie, were you at the game?
Yeah, she was. Oh, was she? I think she told us that she was going.
Y'all, you got to come say hi. I know it's hard. I miss Keaton too. I'm pissed I miss Keaton. Do not be shy. Come say hi to me, please. Hashtag on tap, minor case, straight rye whiskey, sherry, cask finished, Lebanon, Kentucky. Let's go. Damn.
Dang.
All right.
Fancy stuff.
Coming in hot. Miss Rains. Hey, guys, what an exciting game. Go Panthers and keep pounding. Yes, it was. Wes from Winston. Like to see that, as always. Nate's in here. Let's go, guys. Appreciate you.
OPM.
Got OPM in here on tap. Appreciate you. He's a member as well. How about Yosh Nijman, Curtis? You were dogging him last week. Yeah, we'll talk about him. I didn't think he played that great still, but we'll get into that. A-Sean penalty was crazy. A lot of people getting in here. Kate, you were in 5:30 and you didn't say anything? Come on. Oh man, going this coming Sunday, section 534. Hey, we'll be right next to each other. You'll probably hear my loud ass mouth. Yeah, we'll definitely have to link up. So let me know where you're at and hit us up on Twitter. That's awesome. Well, we're not going to hit the victory video like we said until Ricky gets back. But Bryson, let's dive into this game. I can only tap dance for so long, so let's get into it. I think I started off last week. What went wrong in the game against the Saints? So let's flip that around here. What went right in this game to bring home the W?
Yeah, real quick, I just want to touch on Kirk's comment. I got you in there, Kirk. You're good. And then as a member, you're automatically 3 times, so you got 4 entries in there. And then every other member that's commented, I threw them in there too. So if you guys are interested in getting the tickets, please comment, and you will be enrolled. I am keeping a close eye on the chat. All right. So what went right to come away with the win? Man, I think you start with the player that was the best on any side of the ball for any team, and that was our quarterback in Bryce Young. Just consistently making the right play. His wide receivers let him down at points in this game, man. You had Xavier Legette with a big drop. You had Tevero McMillan. I think the one could have arguably been pass interference where he tried to catch it one-handed. The corner was kind of pinning his other arm down. And then you've got did Sanders have a drop in that game, or am I making that up? Or is that just like PTSD with Sanders?
I'm not sure on that. I don't know.
But anyways, Bryce was putting the ball in good spots throughout this entire game, and eventually came out on top. So we had the touchdown right before the end of half to Tevero McMillan. You had the Jalen Coker third down pass that was outstanding. I was just so impressed with his deep ball ability. Bryce in this game, it really reiterates what a lot of fans have been asking for, in that Dave Canales needs to open up this offense and let Bryce throw it, because if you look at the numbers for the past 5 weeks that I saw the stat on Twitter, he's like a top 5 quarterback in deep passing percentages in the entire NFL. So he's got wide receivers that can make plays, and I think you have to just continue to put him in position to be able to do that. And I think, you start the game, the defense obviously struggles. They gave up an opening drive touchdown and then almost a 90-yard touchdown, but they ended up holding them to a field goal there. I think that was the one where they had the penalty on the field goal, and then the Bucs got to keep driving and then held them to another field goal. That was frustrating. But the defense kind of, after a rough start, settled in a little bit and played decent. I think I said earlier, Bryce Young was clearly the best player in the field. I think the second, which gives him a run for his money, was Nick Scorton in this game. Nick Scorton was amazing. Guarding the screens that they tried to run twice, he blew it up both times. Getting pressure on the quarterback, defending the run, he was doing everything. Just home run pick for the Carolina Panthers for Nick Scorton. Really, I thought it was his best game as a Panther, and I can't wait to hear Ricky talk about it when he comes on here. But I think overall, I can't say complimentary football. I really can't, because I didn't think the special teams was very good, other than Ryan Fitzgerald. And the punts were okay, but specifically speaking, the kick return coverage was terrible, and that's an issue that has to be corrected. It seems like that's an issue every single week with this team, is when they kick the ball off, opposing teams are getting it in on our side of the field to start drives pretty consistently. I don't understand how that's a continued issue, but it is. So I would say this win falls on Bryce's shoulders. He did everything he could. That I didn't even mention it earlier, but that play, the touchdown to JT Sanders, where he broke 3 sacks essentially, and was that Alabama Bryce and throws that touchdown. Just outstanding work from him, man. I thought he played a perfect game. You love to see it this late in the season, the most important game in a decade, and Bryce Young has arguably one of his best games as a player, not yardage wise or stats wise, but just consistency wise, and continuing to put his team in a position to win the game. I thought it was one of his best, and he found a way. He found a way. I tweeted it when it was time, when it was a tie game, and Carolina got the ball, and Bryce had a chance to drive, and I tweeted the picture of Bryce as Carolina Reaper, and I said it's time, and it was time. He had another game-winning drive to add to his record of 12 now in his career, and it's just fantastic work by him. But in the great words of Kobe Bryant, job's not finished. Job is not finished. We have a lot of work ahead of us. They deserve the right to celebrate this win, but they also need to move on quickly because they have a real opponent coming up this weekend that they got to take care of business with.
Yeah, you nailed it. Job not finished. I think that's the most important line out of this game. This thing is not done yet. Everything is still in front of them, but it's not done yet. They got to finish the job, and I think that's huge. You talked about Nick Scott, and I agree. I think it was one of his best games as a Panther. He was sealing edges. He was making plays in the run game inside. He was putting pressure on Baker. I thought he was outstanding in this game. I thought Mike Jackson had a really bounce back. He got targeted against Mike Evans, gives up the touchdown in that first drive that you mentioned off the top, and then kind of settled in after that. J.C. Horn played lights out, was not targeted the entire game. Like, that's ridiculous. And I know he was getting dogged on, and we kind of dogged on him after the Olave game last week where he kind of struggled. And, he comes out and shows out in this one and shuts everyone up and plays outstanding. And the Bucs, I mean, they're loaded with weapons. We all know that. We all know Mike Evans gives this team fits every time he plays. But for the most part, they bottled him up, honestly. And they did a really nice job, I thought, overall. OPM, Horn had that BSPI call, Curtis, but that was it. Yeah, I mean, that was
a terrible call.
That was the one I think that I was probably most upset about in that game. And then there was, I thought, a couple PIs against T-Mac in the game that they didn't call, or even if it wasn't PI, I thought it should have been holding that they failed to call, and that could have changed some things too. But just wanted to touch on that secondary. I'll tell you what, Shao Smith-Wade is really getting on my nerves, and we can talk about that, but he's kind of driving me nuts lately these past couple weeks. Just wanted to point him out. But we're talking about win, run, right, so let's stick to that. Bryce Young. We didn't give up on Bryce Young. These two guys right here, we didn't give up on Bryce Young. We were behind that train ever since the beginning, and I'm not here to gloat about that. I just want folks to know that we've been in his corner this whole time. It's been a rocky-ass road. He's had his struggles. But 12 game-winning touchdowns, the youngest player to ever do it. He showed this past game yet again the quarterback you saw at Alabama. The magician-type stuff. Someone said it in the chat earlier, the magician-type stuff where on that 3rd down, 3rd and 5 in the red zone late in the game, makes a couple guys miss and finds a wide-open JT Sanders in the end zone. That play does not happen without Bryce Young at all at quarterback. What he did in that play was special. Let me read you some stats. Since the benching, we want to always talk about the benching. Bryce Young, since the benching last year, he's had 24 games, over 5,200 yards passing, 42 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. A 91.3 passer rating and 10 game-winning drives.
Is that good?
If that isn't your franchise quarterback, I don't know what is. That he has played with his back against the wall of his own doing. He struggled, and he's been in a really shitty situation his rookie year, but he has came out and he played outstanding in a must-win game. So hats off to him. He's got to do it again. We're not done here. Like we said, we're not done at all. He needs to do it this weekend. He needs to do it the next weekend again against Tampa Bay. But Bryce Young is proving why he is the answer at quarterback, and sooner or later we'll be ready for that next contract. So you heard it here first. Happy for Bryce Young and all the shit he's been through. He's one tough SOB, got his ankle stepped on yet again by friendly fire, and dude just keeps on playing, man, and I love it. I love the chances he took running the ball this game. I thought it was a little bit more. I think he still needs to step that up even a little bit more from what he's been doing, but I thought that kind of ticked up a little bit. And I'd like to see him take more of that because I think he's even more dangerous when he takes off, and it might be because of the ankle. I don't know. I don't want to diagnose anything, but I thought that was better in that game. Go ahead.
I was going to say, while you're talking about one thing I want to mention about that is he's really got to learn that slide, man, because he in that game in particular, he got hit a couple of times, and there was one where Hassan Reddick like body slammed him because he was trying to fight for extra yards and really wasn't in a comfortable position to slide, I guess, for himself. So he's really got to work on that slide. I know it's overplayed, but just for his own health, like that's the only reason that I want him to work on it. Not like I think he's lacking talent-wise and he needs to learn a slide. I don't want to see him get hurt on these runs because he means way too much to this team. So I would love to see that growth in his game in that area. But other than that, man, I agree. I think he's dangerous when he runs, and he's gotten so much better in protecting the ball when running and protecting the ball when getting sacked. Like he's made obvious growth in that area throughout the season, even. So yeah, I thought, especially that keeper. I mean, that shocked me where he kept it, and it shocked the Bucs defense too. You could tell.
It was more that though, because I think not many teams aren't expecting it.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see if Dave incorporates that a little bit more. But yeah, man, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Bryce has solidified himself as the franchise quarterback for this team moving forward. I mean, I think it's hard to argue with the stats that you just talked about in particular. And he's done a lot of that with not great weapons. Like last year, he didn't have this. He didn't have Tedero McMillan. You know, he didn't have Mitchell Evans. He didn't have Rico Dowdle, and he still put up great numbers to end the year. And now he's got a potent wide receiver one, and Xavier Legette. I'm sure we're going to get into that in a minute. And then Jalen Coker. I think you continue to surround him with weapons. I think if this offense had a legitimate deep threat like a burner, which we kind of hope Jimmy Horn would be, and maybe he will be in the future, but right now they're not using them as such. Like just someone to consistently take the top off the defense. Oh my God, this offense and Bryce Young is going to look beautiful. But yeah, I think Bryce, you said it earlier, Curtis. We've stood by him, man, and it hasn't been easy through times, and there's been times where I'm not going to sit here and lie where I haven't thought about, okay, maybe the fit isn't great for Bryce in Carolina. I always thought he had a chance to be a good quarterback, but sometimes you just need a change of scenery. And I am so happy that didn't happen. And I'm happy that he's here, and I'm happy that he's their quarterback because I think he's going to be very, 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 very good for a long time.
Yeah, I want to touch on this comment here by Jacoby88. The pancake block by Tremble on that Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Tremble and Mitchell Evans blocking yesterday. I saw a couple of all 22 plays on Twitter today were outstanding. I mean, outstanding in this game. And I'm liking the combinations they're using throughout here with the tight ends and a good mix-up. I still would like to see Mitchell Evans a little bit more in the pass game because I do think he's pretty sure-handed up to this point. And I know I think he got hit pretty hard early on, and I don't know if that impacted anything in that game. But I would definitely like to see Mitchell more. You touched on it with Jimmy Horn. I wanted to talk about him quickly. The guy needs more opportunity, man. He's electric with the ball in his hands. I get the jet sweeps and stuff, but I do he's shown promise on that 4th down play that he made several weeks back, and I don't even remember the game, but I do think he adds an element there. And honestly, I saw late in the game, and I pointed this out while in the stands, he was in on some crucial downs in the 3rd quarter or in the 4th quarter, and Legette was not out there. And I made sure everyone around, I'm like, I don't know, man. They got Legette out on this play. I think it was like a 3rd down, like late in the 4th. Yeah. I'm like, damn, I thought it was an interesting decision. So I don't know if that you'll see that a little bit more. That maybe we could transition and talking about Legette right now. He had the one drop in the game. I don't know what his stat line is. Did he even have a catch in this game? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe.
I can pull that up, but what are your thoughts on Legette? I still think, and I know he's a 1st round pick and everything, but I think he has been pretty big in the run blocking. Legette has been I think he's better as a run blocker, and I know people are like, well, he's a first round pick, he needs to be making plays too, but he had 1 catch for 12 yards, so there you go. But just his role overall, I mean, he's definitely has taken kind of a backseat to Coker, really.
Yeah, and he kind of did his first year as well, with Coker outshining him. But look, the sideline awareness is a continued issue with him. Bryce threw a very pretty ball that should have been caught, but Xavier Legette did not get 2 feet in bounds in this game. And then you had a drop on another great throw from Bryce across the middle. That just can't happen. It cannot happen. Xavier Legette has all of the tools to be a good wide receiver in this league, the size, the speed. I just don't know. There's a disconnect between his mind and his body at this point, and his facial awareness and his hands. Like it's frustrating to see. And I'm not at a point where I think we should just give up and move on, because I think there's something there, man. I really do. But he definitely needs to start losing reps. And I didn't notice, Curtis, I'm glad you pointed it out, that Jimmy Horn was on the field, because I saw that, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Oh, Legette's not on the field, Jimmy Horn is. I think that's good. I do. I think that's a positive thing, because one, you're putting somebody on the field in Jimmy Horn that needs more reps, that has earned more reps. And Xavier Legette just maybe taking a back seat for a little bit and focusing on, the basics and getting his mind right and things like that, hopefully can help propel him to the type of player that we think that he can be here in Carolina, and what they thought when they took him in the first round with their first pick in that draft. So I can't see him continuing to make mistakes in crucial plays for this team, especially when the margin of error is so thin for this team. You just can't have a first-round pick doing that. And I think the sideline stuff is something easy that can be fixed, man. You just gotta be there in the right mindset, paying attention, your football acumen on the field. I really don't know how else to put it, but you just have to do it. You just have to know where the sideline is. You just have to know how close you are, or if you run out of bounds and you run back in. You just need to know these things, especially at this high level of football that they're playing, in the NFL. So hopefully that comes to fruition, that comes together for him. The drops again are a thing that hopefully he can get past and not. Oh, we have a guest. We have a guest.
What's up, fellas?
I love the jersey.
Sir.
I love it.
Griswold?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Spin around. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the Black Hawk on the front, but I do love the jersey.
Nobody likes the Black Hawk. It's about the name on the back, baby. What's up?
Good
Merry Christmas, fellas.
Hey, man, we've been waiting on this victory video, and we have not played it yet. So,
oh, you haven't played my video?
Without further ado, we've been waiting on you.
DJ. It feels so good. Look
yeah, my boys.
He did it. He really put that on. Go Panthers.
Hell yeah.
Man, how about it? Y'all realize that is our 8th time playing the victory video this season and wearing these hats. How about it, man?
What?
Feels unreal. Feels not real life.
And we're giving away tickets again tonight.
Doing it again, man.
We
got Clark Griswold. We got Santa Claus. We got the Grinch. We got them all, man. We're giving
everybody's here. The whole gang. It's a holiday extravaganza on Panthers on Tap tonight.
Amen. Well, Ricky, hey, we were just talking. Well, actually, let's start off how we usually start the show. What are you drinking?
Okay. So I'm drinking a Sugar Creek sugar cookie. This is a perfectly acceptable brewery here in Charlotte that is getting a really good distribution push right now because of things that we won't talk about. But the other things that I have, it's the same things that I've had already before a couple other times. I got the double 2 Xmas spiced ale from Southern Tier. Very nice little Christmas one. All of the Christmas beers are off shelves already, man. And unfortunately for me, I guess, well, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but we've been drinking Christmas beers on this show for a month. So like I've run through my stash, my stash of Who Hash, right? Like it's all gone. I do also have the Shiner Cheer. I had 1 6-pack left from my wife, so I stole one of hers. And then, hey, man, if things go well and I end up on number 4, I got a good old classic Montucky cold snack for us.
Let's go.
I love it. All right, Ricky, you're going to play some catch up here. What went right in this game? I flipped the question from last week. What went right in this win over the Bucs?
Well, we talked last week, right, about the run game and about needing to mix up some of the variety. The run game was ineffective in this game. Like they couldn't get it going. They weren't really like successful on a lot of their concepts and their attempts. But I will tell you this, man, he showed some different looks. He mixed it up. He added some different shifts out of some different personnel packages. I thought that at least gave them something to think about and made the formations that they played out of a little bit more dangerous, which also opened up, I think, Bryce Young's ability to create from the pocket, from shotgun. I like that they moved the pocket a little bit in this, but not so much that was like their strategy. And then let's just go ahead and get straight to the meat of it, right? Bryce Young was fantastic in this football game. I mean, he was absolutely terrific, man. When they needed it, he was great. 114 passer rating when they trailed in that football game. I believe he had 142 passing yards in those situations out of his 196, I think, or 191. I can't remember exactly what the total was. Both touchdowns came when they were trailing. And it just seems, man, like Bryce Young has been in such control that when Dave Canales, when he calls the right plays, when he sequences them correctly, I have complete faith that Bryce Young is going to operate this offense at such a high level. And we saw that. Tedero McMillan had a really nice game. I love that they had the, oh, look at that. That's great. You look like a bad guy from like a what's Dolph Lundgren movie or something like that.
I had my screen off. I don't know why it popped back on.
Yeah, I think that honestly, man, I just think that that's the kind of offense that they have been wanting to execute. They still need the run game to get going. The pass block or the run blocking, I think, has been a real significant issue. Austin Corbett just isn't the guy at right guard, and that's become apparent that they miss Brady Christensen and they miss Robert Hunt even more. If there is a chance that Robert Hunt can be healthy for that week 18 game, that rematch against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that would be a massive upgrade for this offensive line because reaching to that second level, some of those pull blocks, the athleticism, but then just the mauling and the ability to open up, that's really something that's missing. Josh Nijman had a tough game. I think that we talked about that too, that was a concern, man. Like that week 1 game against the Jaguars, he allowed 6 pressures. Guess what he did again this week? 6 pressures.
Yeah,
like,
someone was running their mouth in the chat, and I thought he did terrible in this game.
Yeah, no, I did not think. Look, I think that Josh is. I think that Josh is definitely a right tackle. Like they call him a swing tackle. They say that he can play both, and in a pinch, sure, he technically can. Right, we've seen it twice, but each time that he's been on that blind side, it's been to really subpar results, in my opinion. I hope that Ike Ekwonu can be healthy enough. We know that Dave Canales said that he might be able to. Defensively in this game, can we talk about Nick Gordon? Have y'all already done that yet?
We were waiting on what you thought of it. Yes, we did highlight it.
I cannot wait for Ricky to get on here and talk about Nick Gordon.
I thought he was tremendous early on in the game when he was demolishing blocks. First of all, in the run game, that was, I think, the thing that stood out the most to me was the way, hey mom, I think that the way that he absolutely just deconstructed blocks in the run game was pivotal in stopping some of their attacks. His physicality that he plays with, it stems from his mental approach of loving football. That may not make sense to a lot of people, but it really does. It oozes out of him that he loves playing the game of football, and he's getting so much smarter at it. Mike Kay, I believe it was, asked him about his, ability to diagnose plays and drop in coverage and wreck some of those screen concepts that they were running. That can't be talked about enough, because the screen concept, man, you get past that initial defender and you've got those big hog mollies in front of you. Bucky Irving's an elusive, slippery back, man, and he plays through contact really well. Get him in space, dude. It could be lights out. And they call that at the right time, that if Nick doesn't ID some of those looks and he doesn't drop into that passing lane, or he doesn't make that initial tackle, those could be explosives that they're calling up. And he thwarted at least 2 of those on his own. The intelligence that he has as a 21-year-old rookie who has been tasked with so many different things, but then that relentless motor, man. Like, I know that he didn't get a bunch of sacks. So he had maybe credited for a half sack, if that. He was involved in a couple of them, like late. Derek Brown, I know, had the one where Nick kind of met him there too. Nick was also involved in another one earlier in the game. Maybe he didn't get credit for him, but you are lying to yourself if you don't see the way that he directly impacted those sacks from happening. And I just feel so good about it. And we have asked, we always talk about Bryce Young stepping up in big moments, right, on the offense. Who have we asked on the defense to step up outside of maybe J.C. Horn, Derek Brown? And the reason you ask is because those are your star defensive players. Well, we all talked about, I hope Nick Scorton has a good game this week, right? I made a tweet right before the game, and I was like, Baker Mayfield always likes to talk about that chip on his shoulder. He's, oh, man, I'm so frustrated. Everybody cut me. Everyone hates me. I've got this little Hollywood story about the poor Heisman candidate and got drafted first overall and did well a couple years in Cleveland. Then they didn't like him. And then I went to a couple other places, and I've had a good career. It's poor little me. Shut the fuck up. I said I can't wait for Nick Scorton to physically knock that chip off of Baker Mayfield's shoulder, and I think that he had a big part in that in this game. I think that he was terrorizing that right tackle, and I think that they felt his presence that entire game.
And Ricky, you could see Baker Mayfield's frustration when I think it was the last screen that they tried to throw and Scorton blew it up and Baker Mayfield threw the ball at the ground. You could see how pissed he was because Scorton was wrecking his day, dude.
And if Scorton didn't do that, maybe what he was really pissed about too, and I haven't watched the All-22, man. I've been running around doing Christmas errands all day. If I could look at that again and see the way that concept was going to unfold, I would be willing to bet you that he had some grass in front of him. That he knew that was another missed opportunity for them based off of one player. Scorton talking about it, though, saying, yeah, they had a tight end there and he didn't chip me. And then the tackle release. So, I mean, I know what it is. It's a screen. It's a wide receiver screen. But he has the athleticism. He has the ability to get to his landmark and make that play. And it's a wildly impressive thing for a kid his age, man. And dude, we got him in the second round. We're talking about Tedero McMillan, Nick Scorton, Lathan Ransom showed up big. I mean, what a hell of a day for that rookie class, man.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. I'm glad you mentioned Latham. Let's talk about that last play because Dunk pointed this out, and I remember seeing 92 a lot on the field, and I'm like, well, he got hurt initially. But Cam Jackson with the pressure on that pick by Ransom, the rookie from Florida. So another rookie making an impact in the game, and honestly the biggest moment. I feel like they were in that field goal range-ish type of the field in that final drive, and puts the pressure on him. And Ransom, he had the unnecessary roughness penalty against Shuck last week, comes back in the biggest moment of the game and picks the ball off. Baker thought Mike Evans was going to continue his route. Mike Evans stopped because he thought Baker was going to run. Baker already threw the pass, and Ransom comes up with the interception. So big moment. Man, Dan Morgan, we're not talking about him enough this season. He deserves credit. I mean, he has nailed this draft class. There is no doubt about that. The impact these rookies have had on this season. I don't know how you guys can take me seriously with this eye patch. I don't. I'm almost laughing. I'm almost laughing talking.
Who said that we were?
You're not laughing.
Dude, we've seen you with a pigeon head on.
That's
patch
true.
Is nothing.
That's true. And a moldy cheese head.
But no, seriously, this rookie class, outstanding. And all these guys have had impact after impact. Bryson, you talked about it earlier. Ryan Fitzgerald, I know those were inside the 50, but those are 3 big kicks in that game. I mean, those are massive moments. He only won by a field goal. So Just want to shout them out. I do want to hit some of the super chats here quick because we missed Ray.
Can you at least tell me that you played the cool, swanky, what are you drinking video tonight?
We didn't. I'm sorry.
Sons of bitches, man.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm going to play it at some point. Clay, right, Carl Hungus. I'm going to play that.
So, Ray, Bryson, take note of this because this will impact the wheel. Great game, boys. Do not enter my name for the giveaway. Can't make it. He is one of our members. So if you wouldn't mind getting rid of those, Bryson, we would appreciate it. But keep us pumped. Keep us pumped with content. Ray, we appreciate you. You're a member. You do a super chat. You're not in the giveaway. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Appreciate you.
Cheers, Ray. Happy holidays, man. Appreciate everything.
$5. We also got Talon in here, fan of the year. Go vote for him. I want to. Does the voting end after the regular season? It's through February. Talon, correct me if I'm wrong. We just did the article together. I think that it's through February, man. Or maybe even February 6th, 2nd. Cheers to you. $5 super chat. It was great meeting
Cheers,
you this weekend. 2025 rookie class. Keep pounding. Appreciate it.
Oh, y'all got to meet each other? That's cool.
We did. We his dad actually sat in one of our seats, so he came up. We took some pictures together. Yeah, he's a good dude.
That's awesome.
His dad was fun. The whole game, me and him were just bitching back and forth about stuff. No, it was a good time. Oh, my bad. All right, where were we?
Ends February 3rd. Talon says at midnight. So keep those votes coming in for Talon, man.
And while we're doing that, let's hit this jersey giveaway another time. So we're doing not jersey giveaway. I'm sorry. We do so many damn giveaways. I get them mixed up. We're doing a ticket giveaway for this weekend. Seattle game. It's the last regular season home game of the year. Let's preface that. Last regular season home game of the year. Comment on tap, hashtag on tap to enter for a chance to win 2 tickets. It's section 535 in my section, row 20, I believe, seat 19 and 20 maybe. Members, you're automatically entered for 3. Every single $5 super chat will give you an extra entry. I will tell you, the members do have a leg up. So if you want to become a member and have a better shot at it, become a member. That's the joys of being a member. You do kind of get a leg up in some of these giveaways. So take advantage of that. It's $4.99 a month to become a member. It's part of the tap room. Ricky, if you can put that QR code up, we'll keep that up for like the next 10 minutes.
I will.
Yep. That QR code, you scan it with your smartphone. It'll take you to our homepage of our YouTube channel. And there's a little button next to subscribe that says joined. Click that and you can enter and become a member. Again, it's $4.99 a month. That is a monthly fee, but it does give you extra opportunities into some of our giveaways, and we'll be at some point giving you guys all something as being members. I think we have 30 members so far, so we do appreciate every single one of you guys.
I just realized that when we played the video, I don't know if you guys caught this blunder by me, but when we played the video, I didn't do my shtick. So entertain me. If you don't know what that little ditty right there was, that's a Carolina Panther victory video. And I tell you what, the Carolina Panthers are victors for the 8th time this season, 8-7, and NFC South division leaders going into week 17. Man, it feels good. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina right now.
Hallelujah. Amen. Hallelujah.
Ricky, I love the comb over.
Hallelujah. Holy shit. Where's the Tylenol? It's not a comb over, man. It's just my hair is long and I'm wearing a fucking cowboy hat that's probably made for like young women. It don't fit my head, man. You know, Vinny Chase said in Entourage, the bigger the head, the bigger the star. If that's true, man, I'm destined for fucking greatness because this is a watermelon on top of my neck.
Chris asked a great question here. Do you have to be in the chat when you draw the name and win? You do not. We'd love you to be in the chat when we're picking that winner.
I got one person that wants to say something real quick.
Yeah, is that your son?
Come here, man.
Hey,
Hey, tell him, I tell you what. Say it.
I tell you what. I tell you what.
Yeah. Biggest Panthers fan I know right here, man. Hey, what are they going to do this weekend against the Seahawks, little buddy?
Win big time blowout.
Win big time blowout. I love it. All right, man. Hey, say happy holidays and then get your little butt to bed.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Right.
Merry Christmas, Max. Good seeing you, buddy.
I love it.
What a legend.
Heck yeah.
Legend. I know it, man. He's destined for greatness himself.
See you later.
Absolutely.
Katie coming in here with the super chat. Appreciate you. Woke up
Katie.
feeling real dangerous.
What up, Katie? I know Katie was probably sitting there just waiting on me to get in here so that I will hit the repeat button on that victory video. I appreciate you, Katie.
Absolutely. Before we move on from the game, the topic that we were talking about right before Ricky came on, I'd love to get his opinion on, Curtis, and that's Xavier Legette. We saw the drop pass, pretty crucial drop. We saw the not getting his feet in bounds play on the sideline, Ricky. This is a continued thing that we've seen from Xavier Legette this year. Where are you at with him? I mean, are you at a point of moving on? Or are you like, is there something there? Like, where are you at?
No, I'm not at a point of moving on because I think that he still serves a role on this team. I'm at a point of frustration for sure because anytime that you see the same mistakes festering over and over, right? You start to wonder, like, is this a coaching issue? And is it anywhere else on the team, right? Like, look around. Does anyone else struggle with field awareness? I think that the problem that we have right now as Panthers fans, right? We think about Jonathan Mingo. Like, that's the first thing that I think comes to at least my mind. But anyone else's mind, I think, is going to think of the throwing his ass in a circle trying to, make the catch against the Tennessee Titans when he had plenty of room to do a little, two-step on the sideline. For Xavier Legette there on that play specifically, yes, I think that the mistake that actually came in that process came a few moments, a few steps before that sideline attempt. I think it's the way that he finished that route. I don't think that he was taking these long strides, these sweeping strides, where he needed a sharp stop on that out route. It needed to be sharp and then short steps to keep his toes in line. And they weren't. He took a very long, wide stride going towards the sideline. And I think that messed up the spacing for him. He also, when you watch that route, and I've only watched the broadcast, but when I watched it, I noticed on the replay that they showed, he's got an angle to it, man. He's not running a straight stem, which also closes off space. It cuts off space, man. It's the same concept as when you run like a bootleg for a quarterback. It cuts off space, right? It removes it. You put that stat line on the bottom. That is a dirty little trick. But it cuts off space.
That's devious.
It eliminates, but what it did is it eliminated space for him, man. Like, and that was an unnecessary thing. Because it tells the corner that you're going up against, it tells him that you're going to that outside. You're not selling a vertical stem. You're not selling that vertical run. And so that cornerback, man, he made a really nice play that he made the catch. Bryce Young put it on him accurately. But if you had just run a vertical and sold it straight and not lingered and not drifted to the right and then taken that long stride, I think that's a completion. Give him credit, though, because on the very next play, Bryce Young went back to him and he completed the catch for a first down, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I'm very frustrated. I think that it is underwhelming for a first-round pick to be running into these kind of issues, especially at his advanced age for a second-round player or a second-year player, first-round pick, right? You're expecting a more polished product, but the problem is that we knew Xavier Legette was not that. So there's some growing pains, and now you're getting this instant comparison with Tetaroa McMillan. But let's call it like it is. T-Mac has had some issues on his own, right? He's had some drops. He's had some hands issues with using the correct technique at the correct time for the catch. They're growing pains, but if this offense is clicking and if Jalen Coker is working the way he is, if they start integrating Jimmy Horn a little bit more, Xavier Legette may not be a volume guy ever here in Carolina, but to say that I would be ready to move on from him, I'm not there because I think he can still serve a purpose.
Ricky mentioned this, so I actually started this comment because right before you got on, I was about to jump all over this, and then I got distracted once I saw the Griswold jersey. Um, but this comment just isn't fair. I mean, let's be real here. I think Leggett, as an athlete, as a player, is leaps and bounds better than this dude. And I personally don't think he's still being used right in this offense. Now he's had his issues. There's no doubt about that. And Bryson, you talked about him earlier in this episode. I do think he's gotten better, and it's hard to say that after a drop, but I think he has gotten better when the ball has been thrown his way to catch it this year compared to last year. But that drop was brutal in this game. But it's hard to judge a guy when you have 2 targets, 1 target, 3 targets, 2 targets. Like that's been his last like 4 games. And I don't dive into the all 22. I don't look back and see, is he open on this play? Is he not? But he hasn't gotten a ton of opportunities. So when he does get one, it's like, man, when he does not catch it, I think it amplifies it even more.
Good take there. Yep.
But I just think this team is still trying to figure out his role on here. And I don't know. I think last year honestly hindered his development because he was thrust into a position I don't think he was ready for. And I think that created some issues for him there. And then like Ricky said, like this was a very unpolished player. He had one good season at South Carolina. He battled injuries and tragedies and everything else before that. And he had that one, sure season before he went into the NFL. And then Carolina jumped over all over the traits and the type of player they thought he could be. And I just think last year hurt him developmentally, honestly, him being thrust into a position with them and Deontay Johnson and them thinking he was going to be the number 1 and then moving on from him and everything else. So I thought we'd see a bigger leap this year with Leggett. I remember saying that early on, but you guys were right, man. Jalen Coker has proven, he was honestly the pick of that draft, whether we want to admit that or not. He's played outstanding. I know he came back from injury, but he has been very reliable for Bryce Young and company, even post injury.
No doubt. And Curtis, you touched on it, but like the passing game as a whole has not been clicking this season. We have had games where you see the potential of the pass game, right? But even when it's been efficient, it hasn't been a high volume aerial attack. And so when you talk about like he's only getting 2 or 3 targets a game, some of that is trust, I think, in my opinion, because he has had these blunders and he has had these moments where it's like, dude, you got to know where the sideline is. Like you're not going to be looked at as the trustworthy, reliable guy in some of these big moments if you cannot do some of the fundamentally basic things to the position. But then you look at some of the plays that he has made, he's still a deep threat for this team that does not have a whole lot of deep threat. He can still stack a receiver. He can still blow by them on a vertical. He's proven that he could do that, and he is open on some concepts. But that doesn't always mean either that that's because he's won a route or he's done something exceptionally better than the defender. That could be the design of the play, right? That could be literally getting him in space, and he just may be later on the progressions because these quarterbacks now are playing progressions. They're not necessarily playing against the defenses that they're seeing because of all the post-snap rotation and change and disguise that they're getting faced with. The game is evolving, man, and like what they do when they draft a player like Xavier Leggett, you're drafting traits. You're drafting this big, strong mismatch that can also run a 4.3 40, right? The potential is there. You have to figure out how to hone in, how to use him. And I agree with Curtis on, I don't know that they've specifically done that on a consistent basis for him, but when they've shown games where they use him in the right way, him across the middle, him on some of these crossers, him getting him in space. I thought he created a little bit after the catch in this game. That was nice to see because a lot of times, man, he catches it and he looks a little bit stiff, a little bit robotic. And I thought he looked a little bit fluid on that catch where he created afterwards. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not out on it. I think I'm just enjoying the team success. And so it's hard for me to look at individual players right now and put too much of a damper on it. Curtis is going to talk soon. Hold on.
I was trying to figure out where I wanted to
Bryson,
go.
Bryson, you haven't talked in a minute. What do you got going on, man? I keep talking because I'm trying
I want to ask
up.
Bryson. I want to ask you this because we didn't really touch on them at all tonight Any of us haven't, which is kind of shocking. Let's talk about the run game for a second here, because it was kind of, wasn't much in this game. And I know we talked about this last week. And I know I bitched in this game why they weren't running it outside at all. They kept a lot of inside runs in this one, and I don't remember going back, and Ricky, I'm sure he has it on the back of his hand on what we went over, and statistically speaking, of what works against this Bucs defense. But I thought they had an opportunity running it more outside. I thought they ran like maybe 2 or 3 crack tosses in this game, but outside of that, there wasn't much outside, I thought personally, watching in the stands. But what did you think of the run game, the mix of Chuba and Rico? And anytime the Panthers get the ball, you kind of know who's going to be the lead dog. If Rico's returning the kick, it's Chuba. If Chuba's returning the kick, it's Rico. And that's kind of the philosophy Dave has ran with, it seems like. But what were your thoughts on the run game in this one?
Yeah, you mentioned crack toss, and I thought it was funny. I noticed during the game, I tweeted that I didn't hate the play call on third down, that toss to Chuba in the red zone. And then, like, almost immediately as I tweeted, I saw Ricky tweet, I hate that play call onto Chuba Hubbard on the crack toss in the on third down. So I was like, fuck, okay. I mean, I'm not going to fight Ricky on this. He's probably right. So I guess I just don't understand why that was a
no, fuck that. Stay behind your point.
Yeah. Don't switch up just because I said I didn't like something. You know how many times I'm wrong, Bryson?
Anyways, yeah, I thought Ricky kind of touched on it a little bit, but the run game just wasn't there in this game. And we talked about it last week about the Bucs not being a good run defense, but luckily for the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young was there, and what he was doing was working. So they were able to fall back on that in this game. But I thought Rico had a couple of chances to break some runs off. He lost his footing on a couple plays where he kind of just fell down, where he could have broke one off. I think there was one where he basically just had to break the tackle of the nickel corner, and he could have. It was 1-on-1, I think, right outside or right in the box with a nickel, and couldn't break that tackle. I think they were just inches away maybe from a couple of big run plays, and maybe if they would have kept with it a little bit longer, those would have eventually come. But I think they gave it a good shot. They gave it a good try, and then they fell into Bryce Young. Okay, this is on you, buddy. Go win us the game, and he went and won the fucking game. So looking back on it, I'm not upset. I think it kind of forced Dave Canales to call some of these deep shots and allow Bryce to air the ball out a little bit, and we saw how successful it was in this game. So not too mad at it. It's unfortunate that it wasn't there, and it probably would have made things a little easier for this offense and this team as a whole, keeping the defense off the field and things like that. But we came away with a win, man. So I'm not going to harp on it too long.
Yeah. Can I talk on that play, Bryson, that you and I disagreed instantaneously on? Because there was a few people that I saw that were like, hey, I don't have a problem with the call. I like the toss call. And Curtis, I'll disagree with you a little bit. I thought that they ran outside almost a little bit too much in this game. I thought that they were avoiding Vita Vea on a very obvious manner, that they were trying not to go in the middle. Now, I think what may like kind of confuse the matter a little bit is when they run like the outside zone or the wide zone concept, they're trying to get outside the tackle, but a cut can happen inside, right? Yeah. But the concept itself is designed to have the offensive line push to the outside, right? And they weren't getting much push at the point of attack. They were losing. And so the concepts were going to the outside. Some of the runs were cut back inside because it was shut down. They weren't moving people. On that specific play, Bryson, the toss to Chuba, my gripe with that was that they made a toss play to the weak side of the formation. Like, Tampa Bay had numbers to the outside of that play on that formation, and you needed short yardage there, right? At least have the most bodies you can available at your disposal for trying to pick up defenders that are running to the outside. When you're in the middle, man, it is muddy. There's traffic. It is getting a hat on a hat, and it's finding a crease. When it's an outside play like that, there needs to be space drawn up, or you're just running lateral. running lateral and going backwards at that moment for a short yardage gain with less blockers in place than you could have had. You could have shifted it. You could have moved him over or moved it him. Did you hear me? I said moved it him over. Christ almighty, that's Christmas spirits, isn't it? You could have shifted him and moved him over. You could have changed the math pre-snap and given an advantage to Chuba, or at least given him the biggest possibility for success there. That was where I had a little bit of an issue with it, is I didn't care for the formational use of that call. I don't have a problem with outside run calls, man. I actually think the toss plays work well for these backs because of the fact that they're plant and cut and go type of runners. But that one for me just seemed like let's see if we can trick them by running this to the weak side, where that's not necessary, man. Our bread and butter in this Panthers team, this run game, for me, is just being more overpowering and dominant at the point of attack. And they just haven't been that the last few years or the last few weeks.
Can I ask this for you guys? Because I'm just curious what your guys' perspective on this. Because Bobby Brown had a pretty big impact the previous week in New Orleans. What did you think of his role in this game? Because I thought I feel like he was getting pulled out a ton. Like he'd get rotated in for a play, and maybe it was just based off of the personnel the Bucs were deploying in this game. But I just felt like coming off of a massive game against New Orleans, he was not on the field as much as I would have liked to see.
Bryson, what'd you think?
I thought I saw a decent amount of Bobby Brown. I thought I saw a lot of LeBron Ray as well, and I thought Ray made a couple plays. That was good to see. But I think, because of Turk's injury, you are seeing a little bit more of those guys. Would I like to see Brown on the field at all times versus LeBron Ray? Probably. I think Brown's a better player, but I guess it really didn't catch my eye, or I didn't pay attention to not seeing him as much versus the Saints. I don't know what the snap counts look like. I didn't see that, but but I thought I saw him a decent amount.
Bobby played 31 snaps. It's 49% of snaps. He was on the field for 86% of short yardage plays, 36% on drop back plays. So they clearly had a plan of having him in heavy packages, in run obvious packages, right? One of the things that I struggle with Bobby Brown's usage this year is that I think it's been peculiar overall, to be completely honest, man. I think that everyone knows, if you watched any of our preseason and like free agent episodes, Bobby Brown was my favorite addition outside of Trayvon Merrick. Trayvon Merrick was my favorite. I lobbied for him. I thought he was the best safety available for our team. And I was very happy with that. But outside of him, I thought that Bobby Brown was the guy that I looked forward to the most, having a true nose tackle, but that also offered you the pass rush ability that Bobby Brown, in my opinion, does offer. Bobby Brown is a mover. For a guy his size, he can move. He's got extremely long arms. And I thought that the appeal of this big jumbo package of A'Shawn Robinson, Derek Brown, and Bobby Brown, right? If you're going to run out of base, I love that. I also love the fact that you could move him and play him in nickel, right? Not in the nickel position, but in nickel personnel packages. You could have him as one of the 2 down linemen, and he offers you enough in both regards that you're not like putting yourself in a corner with his usage. Turk Wharton, I see in the chat. Hold on, let me bring this up. My guy OPM says Bobby greater than Turk, right? This is a sentiment that I see a lot often. And maybe it's because of that Saints game where Bobby, as Curtis, you just talked about, Bobby Brown made a big impact in that game. He was tremendous against the run. He was penetrating the line of scrimmage. And then coming into this game, it wasn't
a big impact against the pass too. That's why I did.
And that's what I was looking forward to from him. I thought that he was going to get a little bit more rain, right? I thought he was going to get a little bit more freedom as a pass rusher because he showed flashes of it in LA, but LA asked their defensive linemen to do different things. They have a guy like Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. They're getting them, and what's the other guy's name? Kobe Turner. Like, they're getting them to do different things, right? Like, that's their prerogative, is that they have guys that they know that they are going to rush the passer with. Bobby Brown was a space eater. He was a hold the point of attack. He was the gap and a half responsibility defensive tackle. I think that Bobby, you want my opinion on Bobby against Turk personally? They're vastly different players. Vastly different players. And Turk, his most underwhelming thing is that he hasn't been on the field enough. That's just the point of it for me. I can't get a good read on what Turk could provide as a full-time player because he hasn't been a full-time player. He's been every few games he's playing, and then when he is playing, he gets moved around in the run game, in my opinion. He makes tackles when the tackles are in front of him. He is a pretty sure tackler, but he gets moved, man. Bobby Brown doesn't get moved that often. And for what this team does, I think Bobby makes a whole lot of sense to see more snaps. I do think that 49% of snaps.
He barely. I would love someone in the chat to look up his usage like weeks 1 through 8.
He was
even like
more.
weeks 1 through 10. Like he does. I feel like he's not on the field much.
I thought that Bobby played a decent amount in the first few weeks because I thought that he made an impact and I thought that he looked like, yeah, this is what I was looking for. This is what I expected out of Bobby. But then there was this point, and I don't know if there's something else in the locker room, coaching, attitude, whatever it may be. They also have I'm glad Bryson said LeBron Ray's name because they've got an allegiance to LeBron Ray, man.
Yeah, they do.
They put him on the field a lot, and maybe it's because he practices really well. We know how much they value that. He might be a menace in practice, and he's not like awful out there, but like, man, Bobby Brown, you paid a good amount of money to get him out there, and he hasn't been like a liability on defense when he's getting the reps. So I'm confused, just like you guys are, about his usage and how they're planning on keeping going with this. But I do think that Bobby Brown, man, he offers a lot to this defense, and I would love to see them lean into that. They're going to have to against Seattle.
You know who just got waived?
Oh, Shy Tuttle. Yeah.
I'm just messing with y'all.
Yeah.
You mentioned the money thing, and that's where I have issues with Turk Wharton. You paid that guy a pretty big penny for a guy who was coming in kind of a rotational piece for the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe was undrafted. You paid him 3 years, $45 million. Hasn't seemed to feel much like he talked about. And I don't think his impact has been that great when he's on the field.
Bryson, can I ask you a question about the money thing? Oh,
yeah.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I like to hear that. Let's go.
And then after we do this question, we've got requests here for the W video and victory money. So we're going to definitely get into that. Let me get Bryson's opinion on something because Curtis brings up a good thing with the money. He did get paid, right? I have mixed feelings about it, Bryson. So I'd love to hear what you think because I am a proponent of if somebody is playing better, I don't care about the money. But I don't know that someone is playing better than Bobby Brown that is making less. I don't know that LeBron Ray is playing better and that he should be getting the snaps. Maybe it's just the way that they're asking them to play. Maybe it's the responsibilities they're asking them to take, or maybe there's something else to it. Would you rather him get the snaps just because of the money? Or do you feel kind of like I do with I think the best players should be out there regardless of the money?
Yeah, I'm always a proponent of play your best players. I don't care if they're making $100 million or $1 million a year. Get the best players on the field. So it is confusing when you see guys like LeBron Ray getting snaps over Bobby Brown or Turk Wharton. You know, he's making money, but unfortunately, when he's on the field, he's taking snaps away from Bobby Brown, which they paid as well, but not as much. And Ashawn Robinson's on the field. He kind of had a rough game in regards to penalties in this game, and I've always been a proponent of playing your best players and not worrying about how the front office looks with that contract. Put your team in a position to succeed, and that's playing your best players, point blank period. So I agree with you on that, Ricky.
Shout out our chat. I mean, we started talking about some stuff. First of all, Carter just jumps right in and says Bobby Brown has had 302 defensive snaps this year. That's 33% of defensive snaps. Carter, appreciate you, man. Katie comes in. Heard me talking about, early on, I thought he played a good amount of snaps, and then it kind of changed. Bobby's snap percentage weeks 1 through 5, 50% week 1, 55 week 2, and then it just dips to 26, 37, and 36. Maybe that has to do with how often they're playing out of nickel. Maybe they don't like him in the nickel personnel package. But, I mean, that's telling, man. And that's why I don't know if there's something else outside of that 6 through 10, 44%,
that's
25,
horrible.
29, 9, 16. See, that
I don't care what packages. Look what he did against the Saints.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. That dip right there, though, man, honestly, it makes me wonder. It really just makes me wonder if there's something else that happened to it. The only other thing, though, that I really do wonder about is how do y'all feel about this? And we got a super chat to tie in with it. Osdog, one of the winners of a ticket giveaway that got to see a victory in person from the Panthers on Tap Carolina Panthers ticket giveaway. I tell you what, Victory Monday. The bank was lit yesterday. Dub hat. Yes, sir. Austin, appreciate you, man.
Cheers.
Appreciate you, Austin.
You know, I had Christmas tonight over at my dad's house. Multiple Christmases, multiple families. That's the fun of the season, right? And they were telling me, they were like, some of my family or, some of the extended family, they watch the show, man.
Oh,
and you know what they talk about. You know what they love so much. Like that fucking video, man. That fucking video and that hat and the way that you guys act like idiots when you win. I love that fans tune in to watch us do this because it is way more fun to talk about Carolina Panthers football when we're talking about victories and playoff push. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we're doing here on this fine holiday evening.
Ricky, I just noticed this, and I know you were rushing in, so I'm going to give you grace. But can we not cut off Santa Claus and pan your camera a little bit more over?
You got the screen so small, I didn't know if I could even get him in there. There he is. I thought about trying to figure out something even more that I could do to really dress this room up, but, I didn't have a whole lot of time.
Can we talk about, Ricky, you touched on it at the end there, but I want to talk about the fan base and the support that has grown these last few years. And I was trying to pull up this photo, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get it because I don't even know what I'd have to search to find it. But I saw this earlier on Twitter. I was at both games. The Atlanta game, was it last year? It might have been last year, the year before, where there was like 1,000 fans, maybe 2,500 to this game this weekend, which was, to me, looked like a sold out crowd. Like I told Bryson, was 95% Panthers fans in that stadium, loud as hell. The juxtaposition of both of those pictures and a winning season right now, I think we've seen the graphic. Edgar had put it up, and I don't know where Bryson, I think you were a little bit more maybe optimistic than the both of us. I think you maybe had 8, and I think Ricky, we might have had 7 wins on the season.
Yeah.
But the expectations of this year and what that's culminated to, you see Cam Newton coming out saying, man, it's good to see the bank back to what it used to be. They were doing the wave in the stadium in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter. Kind of drove me nuts. It was too of an important game, to be honest with you, to be doing the wave at that point. But I did. I get the excitement. I can't hate
stand the wave.
Excited. I can't hate fans for being excited. It has been 10 years, guys. It has been 10 fucking horrible years. So I cannot knock anyone for doing that. But this goes back to the success this team has had and the support that fans have shown through thick and thin. Let's talk about that for a minute, because I think that we need to touch on that.
Yeah, to defend my stance on the wave, it's like playing Sweet Caroline before the game's over. You need to lock in and not do the wave before that clock hits 0. It just aggravates me because I think that's something you do when the game's essentially over and your team has a clear path to victory. You're chilling in the stands and you're doing something to have fun. I think when it's 2020 or 2017 or whatever it was at that point in time, it's not the time for fans to be doing the wave. It's time to be cheering. And I don't love the wave that early on.
That's fair.
But I do love
my frustration at you, Bryson. I recant it.
I do love the amount of fans that showed up, the amount of Carolina Panthers fans in particular that showed up. Because I texted Curtis early that morning because I'm always eager to know what the crowd looks like, and I was like, "Are there more Bucs fans than Panthers fans?" And he's like, "Hell no, it's a Panthers wave out here," and I was glad to hear that. Glad to hear it through the TV. We talked about it early before you got on, Ricky, and I'm sure you heard it as well watching it on TV. That crowd was loud, very loud. And to hear the calls for like that Tyrone McMillan touchdown or the JT Sanders touchdown and hear the crowd in the background, it was awesome. It was awesome to hear. And then the comments from Cam Newton, you mentioned it, Curtis, the bank is back. The cherry on top for this season would be to have Cam Newton this weekend at Bank of America Stadium.
Not yet. Not yet. I want Cam Newton in the first playoff game hitting that drum at the bank. That's what I want.
Ooh. Although Cam Newton banging the drum against the Seahawks after the memory that we all have of Cam Newton against that Seahawks team, man.
That's true.
That would be a really beautiful thing, especially after Greg just pounded the drum, the week prior.
Greg was huge. I will say that. That was a good get.
And
Jonathan
Jay Stu
Stewart,
gave a nice,
I don't know if you saw that
gave
on
a nice
TV.
speech.
You did see that on TV. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know if I saw it on TV. I might have seen it somewhere else, but
that was cool. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that because that got the fans like into a groove. That was like before the game even was getting going there. So I love that. That was awesome.
Oh, here you go. You got Talon fan of the year. He says, "Nah, I'm lobbying to be the keep pounding drummer this game. Have Cam do it after the third quarter, please." I can get jiggy with that too. Like let's let Talon open it up, and then if we're in need of a second one, right? If we need to play the W song again, then maybe let Cam come out there and do it, right?
That's fine.
Ricky, where you at with this? Just what this fan base has been through, and then up to this point. Not even the wave. I mean, you can get into that, but just this fan base was shit on. Let's be honest. That Falcons game. I mean, it was on the Pat McAfee show. Everyone was talking about like 1,000 fans. They were giving away tickets, basically. Now to see the bank full again. What's your reaction to that? Like, give it to me.
And shit on by one of our own.
Yeah. I look, man, we talked about it when we got we're called soft. And then there's been through the past few weeks, even like when there's been bad games or something like that. And a group or faction of fans have been like, yeah, I'm done. See, this is why I just can't get behind the Panthers because you got this child playing quarter. Like there's just been a lot of negativity too. So I can understand some of those takes of like it's negativity and it's, you guys aren't ride or die, but they are ride or die. We are ride or die. This Carolina Panthers fan base has some of the most dedicated fans that I know. And I know, I've talked to many, writers that cover teams. I've done podcasts with other teams and I know, man, speaking to them, they're like, yeah, y'all got good fans, man. You just get outnumbered because y'all have been losing. You've been losing and no one wants to spend their money on a losing product. To me, that's not weak. To me, that's just saying like, show me something on your end of this relationship that makes me feel like I'm not just going to keep on running into a fist every single time. Like, here's $100, punch me in the head. Here's another $100, punch me in the head. Where they could be doing other things, shout out Meow Mix, right? Like, we could be spending time with our family. Well, family for me also includes Carolina Panthers fans. Let me start by saying that. One of the coolest things about this fan base is that when you meet fans and you form this bond, for me at least, these two gentlemen that I'm on the show with met through the Carolina Panthers fandom, right? Like that's the whole way that we began being pals and co-hosts of a show. And they've introduced me to people that they've met as fans of the Carolina Panthers. You form a bond. But our fans, my mom and sister have PSLs. They go to every single game, even in the rain, the freezing Falcons game, right? Where it's just pouring rain. Curtis, I know you were there for that one too. Fans show up, man. I don't buy this narrative that we have bad fans. I buy the narrative that we've had a bad franchise and a bad organization for the last 7 years. And it's really difficult to support something that sucks and that keeps making sucky decisions. But this decision that they've made to let this play out with the current situation that they have, right? They're trying to maximize the best that they can with what they have, and it's working. And what you're seeing this game, Last game against the Rams, what you're seeing is that when it works, even at least when you show you're trying, right? I mean, look, guys, when we won our first couple games with Canales this year, you saw the reaction in the locker room from the players. They're bought in on this coach. When the players are bought in on a coach, it's a lot easier for the fans to buy in on the coach. The coach is the one with the program, right? He's the one with a plan. These players are going out there every single week just trying to play football and win. This coach in the front office, they're the ones that are making a long-term plan. And if everybody else inside buys in and the performances and the results start to match it, really not hard for the fans to buy in. But you can't sell me Frank Reich as an all-star coach and an all-star coaching staff and Matt Rule being the next coming of Bill Belichick. Yeah, how's that working out for the Tar Heels? Sorry, Bryson, shots fired. But like, this isn't something where you try to mimic something else. Have something of your own. We loved Ron Rivera because Ron Rivera was so genuine and true to himself. Ron Rivera made some mistakes. Ron Rivera did some knucklehead shit. Ron Rivera was called Riverboat Ron because he gambled once or twice a year. Like, we just gave him the moniker because it was fun. We just like having fun. We like supporting stuff. We're fans. All we ask for is competitiveness and commitment. And I think that's what's really bringing in fans right now, is that you can feel that from this team.
I just want to shout out Panthers fans because I've always been told Panther fans were kind of the wine and cheese crowd. You know, when it gets too cold, when ticket prices go up and you want to sell out and give them away to the away fans. And I've kind of experienced that because the team has been terrible ever since I've had PSLs, honestly. But they proved me wrong this weekend because I was kind of worried about that. Like, we saw the ticket prices. We bought a couple ourselves to give away, and those ticket prices were ticking up and up. And I'm like, oh man, I hope Panthers fans don't sell this thing away and let these Bucs fans take over that thing, because we've seen that time and time again. And they didn't. I mean, they showed out in droves, and hats off to them, man. And it might just be because we're all thirsty for a good game and a victory and everything else. And we've been through hell this last decade. But to see that and, you know, everything they've been through these past couple of years, and you guys talked about all the comments and everything else, it was good to see. And it's finally the support and the backing of everyone involved. It's so much fun. It makes everything so much fun when you're at the games, when you have this type of atmosphere.
And look, there's shitty fans in every fan base, right? Typically, we just call those Cowboys fans. But there are shitty fans across the NFL. Like, that's just how that works. And it's something that does happen for the Panthers, but we're not going to sit here and try to over broadly sweep an accusation that Panthers fans are soft and not committed to their team. That's horseshit. I don't care if a legend says it. I don't care if a newbie says it. It's just wrong.
All right, chat. We're going to be getting ready here to get into the preview of our next game, but I do want to let folks know we are doing the ticket giveaway. 2 tickets to this weekend's game against Seattle. Darnold's coming to town. Big old rematch. Well, not really a rematch. I think this is his first game against Carolina since he's left, huh? Right? Carolina didn't play Minnesota with him. So this will be a big one this weekend. We already know the implications with the Bucs and the Dolphins game. And then obviously the Bucs, Carolina will go to Tampa Bay at the end of the year. We'll see if that is going to come down to that. And if that game gets flexed, I think the time for that one is still up in the air. Carolina's a 1 o'clock kickoff. But anyway, we're giving away 2 tickets. Hashtag on tap in the chat. We will draw the winner at the end. If you're a member, you already get 3 entries in for the giveaway. Every $5 super chat gets you an extra one. We will select the winner at the end of the show. All right, Ricky, I do think it's time.
You know what I loved about this ticket giveaway too that we're doing? No big marketing. This is a last minute decision. If you're here in the show, if you're watching the show, right? And if you're here watching now, you've probably been watching for weeks, if not the entire season, if not for years. This is for the people that just show up and they watch these games or watch these shows with us to talk about Panthers football. And I love that. We have 2 pieces of business to take care of right now. The very first piece of business is my favorite piece of business in the whole world.
This might be my favorite comment.
I'd listen to this soundbite at the gym. Man, I'm telling you what. Like that night that the Falcons beat the Buccaneers before we played the Saints, I sat outside, guys, drank like 3 beers, and just listened to that song probably 10 times. Just by myself. Just enjoying life, because that song is synonymous with just like great feelings. Oh, what
Before we go further, I need Ricky. Hopefully, he's cool with me asking him to do this. I need Ricky to tell what you did after last week's episode, because I think
this story is one of the best I've heard in a long time.
So look, I don't know if you guys can tell by all this fucking racket behind me, but I am a Christmas freak, man. I believe in all of it. I believe in making the most out of the holiday season. So after last week's episode, you guys made me drink like 3 cups of whiskey. Like, not shots. I'm not calling them shots. They were cups of whiskey. So I drank these cups of whiskey, and I started looking around my house, and I found extra strands of lights. I found a couple blow molds in the shed. I was like, well, self, what should you do here? So what I did is I stayed up till about 2:30 in the morning, putting up about another, 475 lights to my 2,000 that I already had set up. Made the house very bright. I kept everything on overnight and through the morning, through the whole day, so that when my son woke up and went to school the next day, which, by the way, I'm walking around like the Grinch out there, carrying around like buckets of lights, tiptoeing like this, like I'm about to go and steal the holiday roast, because I don't want any of my neighbors to hear me clanking around. Arose such a clatter of my dumbass walking in and out of the shed that has decrepit wood steps going into it. So I about fell through it 3 or 4 times because I completely forgot where I was. But I loaded this house up with lights. My kid comes out. He's like just shocked and amazed. He loves it so much. That's what we do it for. We do it for the kids. We do it for the Panthers fans. And we do it for our dumbass selves, because I love Christmas. And you know what? I might go back out in that shed tonight and see if I can't find another one. Actually, no, I got to fill in the base of a basketball hoop that got put together today. Little buddy that you guys just saw earlier on the episode. Say what?
You putting sand or water in there?
No, they got these cool little gel packs nowadays, man. You fill it up with water, and then you throw these gel packs in, and they turn into a brick in like 3 to 5 minutes. And then they can like solidify, but they can also like come apart so that you can take it out, and you don't have to worry about dumping sand and missing 45 times and having to buy 300 bags of sand to do it.
Keaton has a very important question for you.
I ain't gonna talk about that, Keaton. I ain't gonna get into all that now. I'm a grown man, and I don't like to talk about my shortcomings.
I'll tell you,
but it wasn't good, Keaton.
I'll tell you what. I didn't do what you did, but I woke up the next day with a massive fucking headache. So there you go.
But no, my little buddy got out of the car today. He'd been over at his grandfather's house and had no idea about it. So I had the house to myself, and that's the only time you could set up a 10-foot basketball hoop without him seeing what you're doing. So got the thing set up today. Got a couple of cinder blocks on it right now, but I'm gonna go fill it up. Get that thing set up so that he can enjoy it for the rest of his life, man. I'm super stoked on that. Super stoked on it. If you didn't like the first video or the last video we just played, I will offer you one more. Now, originally, when we decided we were going to do this on Monday, told the boys, I said, hey, look, statistically speaking, it's going to be real difficult, man. Like, I'm running around all day. There's still a game on Monday. So, like, these numbers aren't going to be completely accurate. Then I thought about it, though, guys. I was like, statistically speaking is one of our cool things that we do on this show. Like, and this is the holiday show before a big game. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to not have this on the show this week. So I took a little extra time and I put together just a Seahawks edition. This is not the Carolina Panthers, statistically speaking. This is the opponent that we face in week 17. So Bryson, would you like to split this up and I'll do the offense, you do the defense, or would you like me to run through it? You tell me.
Yeah, let's split it up. But real quick, I did want to mention I'll take the defense, Ricky, if you want to go offense. But
absolutely,
we have 99 entries right now in our giveaway. You have a good chance to win.
Great chance
if you throw a hashtag on tap in the chat. Get in there. We're trying to get as many fans as possible to the game. This is your chance to go for free, 2 tickets. I'm going to be sitting by Curtis, possibly me as well, if I'm able to make it. And he's gracious enough, like he always is, to give me a ticket. Shout out to Curtis. So yeah, I think 99, dude, be the 100th to enter and get your free tickets. I mean, it's a hell of a giveaway. Not a cheap game to go to, so this is your chance to go for free.
Love that. Great point,
Also,
man.
I love the little Grinch character in there.
I like a little Grinch down there. Yeah. Now you might not have caught it. He's been down there the past 2 weeks, and we've been playing.
Oh, I didn't. So, what the hell? Damn. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I drop little Easter eggs all throughout my little holiday spirits here. Look, this Seattle Seahawks team is legitimate. Okay, we won't have to sugarcoat this. We don't have to like sell this in any other way. This is a good football team. Sam Darnold is playing pretty dang good football for them, and I like to clown Sam Darnold because I think sometimes Panthers fans, maybe this is it, Bryson. Maybe it's just the fact that Panthers fans have been on this crusade about how Carolina totally messed up by letting Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, run through our fingers and get away from us. They were right there in our grasps, and of course we fumble it just like we always do. We make bad decisions. Sam Darnold wasn't good before coming to Carolina. Sam Darnold wasn't very good in Carolina. He had moments. And then Sam Darnold went and he played with Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell taught him some things, made some things simple for him, and he executed, man. Sam Darnold has always had talent. He has always been a highly talented physical quarterback prospect, right? But he has struggled with consistency and big moments. And so shout out to him for the turnaround that he's done. Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator here in Seattle, is a big part of that. Clint Kubiak is playing really, really smart football. He is calling really, really good football. He's got them doing things that work to their personnel. Let's get into it. 29.5 points per game for the Seattle offense. That is third in the NFL. 238.1 passing yards per game, sixth in the NFL. Can we talk about that too, Bryson? Everyone wants Bryce Young to throw for 250, 300 yards a game, right? That seems to be this weird fascination, is that he's not hitting his mark because he's only throwing for 200 or 195. The sixth best passing yards per game in the NFL right now is 238 a game.
Yeah.
It's different, dude. The NFL is not this aerial attack all the time that people seem to think that it is. It's not, man. So yeah, I want to point that out. Have you noticed that though, man? That people get so bent out of shape if we're not throwing for 250 yards.
Yeah, I mean, if Bryce had, we hear it from Atlanta Falcons fans on Twitter in particular. They love to point out that, yeah, Bryce owns them, but Bryce doesn't throw for over 200 yards. He doesn't throw for over 250 yards. So he's not a good quarterback. And then here we are looking at a stat for a team that averages 238 passing yards a game, and they're a top 10 unit in the NFL, almost top 5. So at the end of the day, it's not an aerial attack offense in this NFL that we're seeing in today's NFL. A lot of teams are running the ball, play actioning, short passes. That's what's been effective this year and for a couple of years now in the NFL. So, and then you're going to get into the last stat. That's super interesting. That's an interesting percentage point to have, and being the third highest scoring offense in the NFL.
Right. Exactly. Nailed it. The NFL is starting to catch up to it's a cyclical thing in the NFL. They draft for speed, right? And they sacrifice size on defense. All of a sudden, offensive coordinators start to recognize that, and they say, well, we've got bigger, stronger guys, may not be faster, but we can bully them. So they start bullying. They lean into the physicality. It's what Dave Canales is doing here in Carolina. It's what Mike McDonald and Clint Kubiak do in Seattle. Rushing yards per game, speaking of that, 116.9, tied for 20th in the league. Their rushing game, it could be a little bit disappointing because it's not efficient, but they have two quality backs. Kind of reminds me now, the style of backs is not the same, right? But Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet remind me the tiniest bit about the split in effectiveness of Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle, because when a Kenneth Walker game happens, and we all know that's like a Rico Dowdle game happening, when that game happens, it looks explosive and dynamic, and you're like, dude, that's a top 5 back in the league. But it doesn't happen often, or often enough to solidify that standing, right? Dangerous out of the backfield, Kenneth Walker is. Zach Charbonnet, close yardage. He's a little bit more of a bruiser, but he can catch out of the backfield as well. Their rushing game, it can produce. They run the ball a lot, but it is inefficient. 0.005 on the positive side for EPA per pass. Very efficient pass game. They work off the play action, like you said. They work off the volume that they run the football. That's a big thing. It's a thing that we talk about with Canales in this Panthers offense. It's not about necessarily breaking off. I would love to break off 7-yard runs every single snap, right? But it's not about that. It's about keeping a defense honest, making them account for everything that you can throw at them out of a single personnel look. That's being multiple. The Seattle Seahawks do a great job of being multiple in that Kubiak offense. EPA per rush, negative 0.09. This is what we were just speaking about, the efficiency of that run game, tied for 25th in the league. They run the ball a lot. They are not super efficient, and they don't break off chunk plays. Pass percentage, they throw the football 51% of the time on offense. That is 30th in the league. So to generate the 6th most passing yards per game and the 3rd points per game, but with the 30th passing percentage, it shows you how dynamic, first of all, JSN has been. Torrey Horton early in the year was a big play waiting to happen. Now all of a sudden they have Rashid Shaheed that they're starting to incorporate and starting to see how that can work really well for them. They play their tight ends a lot. AJ Barner has had a nice year. Elijah Arroyo was starting to come around before he ended up on IR for them. But this is a team that has multiple identities, I think. Their identity is their coach, and their coach is a very fluid dude, Mike McDonald, and it's typically on the defensive side, but the way that he facilitates this entire team is very, very fluid.
All right, one of the best units in all of football right here. I mean, these numbers are ridiculous, and I didn't even know that. In particular, these numbers, I just knew from watching them that this was one of the best units in football, but seeing these numbers really hammers that home. All right, the Seahawks defense led by their head coach, Mike McDonald, which Ricky so vehemently praised. I agree, Ricky. He's a hell of a
good ball coach, man.
A hell of a coach. 18.6 points per game allowed. That's 2nd in the NFL. Passing yards per game, 209.1, tied 14th in the NFL. Rushing yards per game, they're only allowing 94.1 yards a game. That's 3rd in the NFL. One of the best units in all of football. At negative 0.12 EPA per pass, that's tied 9th. And then at negative 0.18 EPA per rush, that is the 1st best in the NFL. So they are, correct me if I'm wrong, Ricky, they're getting in the backfield a lot. And
they are. A lot of penetration.
Negative plays behind the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be important for the Panthers offensive line to respond well and get some push. All right, at 60.9% of the time, teams are passing. It's 4th most in the NFL. I'm imagining they pound the rock, can't run, and then they turn to the pass. And then they're scoring 18 points a game and not winning a lot of the times, unfortunately, versus this unit. So Mike McDonald's got these guys playing really well. The work is cut out for this offense. You know, we see Bryce come off a really good game versus a Bucs defense that's reeling and not playing great ball. But he's got arguably one of the best units he's faced all year. The Rams, the Packers coming to mind. He played well against those teams. Can he do it again versus this team? It's going to be a true test for the Carolina Panthers.
The defense is loaded with talent. I think is one of the really big differences. Like when we talk about this Carolina Panthers defense and Ejiro Evero, right? The argument is always like, hey, do they have the talent? Does the scheme suck? Like, what's the deal? Just look at some of the players that are on the Seattle Seahawks team, right? They traded for Ernest Jones, the linebacker, the inside linebacker. This is one of the best inside linebackers in the league, right? Played with the Rams. Just a tremendous football player, and he has been the heartbeat of that team. He leads the team in tackles, 116 tackles. But then go down to the rookie that they drafted out of South Carolina this year, Nick Emanwari, the safety. Nick Emanwari is one of those guys where I don't think that he works at every single place in the NFL. I don't think that every defensive coordinator would know what to do with him. I don't think that they would be creative enough and innovative enough to put him in advantageous situations that maybe aren't traditional or, you know what I mean, like that makes sense. Mike McDonald is a madman. That's what he did in Baltimore. He had the defensive tackle there getting like 14 sacks a season because he would have him dropping in coverage. He would have him moving to the outside. He'd have him playing edge. He would have all kinds of different looks that he would give. And he's doing that in Seattle with the things that he has. But then in the secondary, you got Devin Witherspoon, right? Tremendous football player. Josh Jobe, the guy out of Alabama, has had a little bit of a resurgence over there in Seattle. He's a little bit targeted because you don't want to throw against Witherspoon, but Jobe is a good football player. But the real key for me, what makes this car this hot rod run the way that it does. Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy, their interior defensive linemen are, and I mean this in the most kind, respectful way possible, they are freaks. They are absolute freaks on the defensive side of the football. And McDonald knows it. And McDonald is a freak in a defensive coordinator position. He wants to do crazy shit. He wants to make you terrified by the fact that he's got Leonard Williams standing up over the center, right? He's got Byron Jones. Byron Jones is a corkscrew of a human. This dude has so much built up energy and momentum that he unloads on the offensive lineman in front of him. He is a dynamic player. Both of them, I believe, have 7 sacks on the season. They just get a lot, man. DeMarcus Lawrence is a longtime player. Derek Hall, dude, I could sit here and wax poetically about their talent, but this is the difference that we talk about: talent versus scheme. When you got both, these are the numbers that you create.
And they have Witherspoon. Is Woolen healthy? Is he playing?
Woolen has played. I don't think he's been playing lately. Let's see. Woolen has played 7 games. He started 7. He's played 14. So he's healthy. He's just not starting as many of the games. But they still use him in packages. You know what I mean? Like he's still going to see the field. But they've moved on to Josh Jobe a little bit more than Tariq Woolen.
Interesting. Okay.
You know what I learned since I haven't been able to talk much since you guys were doing this? Bryson's second love was Tyler Shuck, and Ricky's second love is Mike McDonald.
I'm not so sure that Mike McDonald was my second.
I mean, you have talked about him glowingly over the last 2 weeks. I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was.
I talked about him glowingly when the Carolina Panthers had a vacancy for their head coach too. But hey, look, that's not me saying that I don't like Dave Canales. I'm just saying that like my affinity for Mike McDonald and what he does as a coach is that my main thing, you take the personnel or the scheme to the personnel, not the personnel to the scheme, right? And Mike McDonald does that tremendously. He also allocates or distributes responsibility extremely well as a head coach. Getting Clint Kubiak, he said, "Look, man, I'm not an offensive coach. I'm not going to pretend that I can do that, but give me a Kubiak system that I have struggled against, right? Like this is a difficult offense for me to plan against. I would love to have that." And then he also has the state of mind to go to him and say, "Hey, AJ Barner, I want him to run quarterback sneaks." We saw it again last week, boys. Like, this is a team that knows who they are, knows what they want to be, and they execute pretty damn well.
You got a keys?
I sure do.
All right, let's see it.
Bryson, I'm going to take the offense. You take the defense. How about that? All right. Offensively, one of the things that I wanted to point out is that they run 11 personnel package 42% of the time offensively. That is 29th in the league. And the reason why that's important for me is because Carolina sometimes has a tendency to be a little bit reactive to what the offense is doing as opposed to just doing what they do best. That's not going to work really well because the 11 personnel is where Carolina would like to run their nickel, right? Like they're going to have a little bit more defensive backs on the field to go against the 3 wide receivers. This Seattle team is going to give you some 12. They're going to give you some 21. They'll give you some 22. This Seattle team will play their brand, and they're not going to worry about what you throw out there. You could throw out any defensive package you want to, and it won't change what they do. They do what they do, and they do it well, and they mix it up. So it's going to be really important for Evero, I think, in my opinion, on the defensive side, to stick to what he game plans for, not to what they end up doing. I think that he should continue to run out what he feels most comfortable about. 22 sacks allowed on offense. This is their bread and butter as an offensive line, tied for 3rd. Charles Cross was out last week on their left tackle. You might remember Charles Cross. This was a conversation had when Ike Ekwonu was drafted. Is Charles Cross, Ike Ekwonu, which one of those was the best left tackle in the class, right? Charles
Ricky,
Cross.
Fun fact about that is Curtis and I interviewed his college coach.
Did you?
During that draft?
Yeah, damn it.
Yeah, that was one of our big things back in the day.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Charles Cross was a great prospect, man.
Yeah,
he was a very polished pass protector. Great length, great feet. And the concern about him was how physical was he going to be in the run game at the next level, right? He came from, if I believe it was Washington State that he came out of, or no, Mississippi State.
Mississippi
State. He came out of Mississippi State, which is a little bit of a spread offense. And so they wondered about like his transition from that pass protection or that pass heavy offense into the run offense in the NFL. So that will be interesting to see. We have got to figure that out because our quarterback pressure rate, I know we don't have the keys here for Carolina, but I don't have to remind anyone that's watched the show, quarterback pressure rate has stuck up at the top right on our keys for defense every single week. And I said I would not move it until they improved it to a place where I did not feel like it was the biggest liability. It has only gone down into the league's worst quarterback pressure rate. That might change potentially at the end of this week because of what they did on Sunday. They were able to get some pressures, but it'll be interesting to see. Yards before contact per rush attempt. Here's what we talk about with the inefficiency of that run game for the Seattle Seahawks. This is an area to attack. They don't move people a lot at the point of attack. They do get touched early. Now, their running backs are dynamic after first contact. They will break tackles. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are both physical, big, strong guys. Walker probably has a little bit more get up behind him, but Charbonnet's no slouch either. But if you can sniff it out and you can overpower them with size at the front, Gray Zabel has been tremendous for them, the rookie out of North Dakota State. He has been outstanding for them. But I think that he is a slightly undersized player, that a guy like Bobby Brown, that we talked about, I think can give him a little bit of fight on the interior. And then Nick Scorton going up against, let's see if Charles Cross is back for this one. If he's not, I really do like the idea of being able to move Nick Scorton from the left to the right every now and then and just switching it up and giving these tackles something to worry about, man. Nick Scorton is hell in a shell, right? He's like a turtle for me, man. He's like a Maryland Terrapin. He's hell in a shell. And I want to see them move him around and make him their chess piece now on this defense because I think that's his greatest contribution. Bryson, why don't you give us the defensive stuff?
Yeah, these numbers not looking good for us. All right, 39.4% quarterback pressure rate, fourth best in the NFL. They are pressuring quarterbacks at a high rate. Bryce is no stranger to that, right? But obviously got your work cut out for you in that aspect. At 23 rushes over 10 yards allowed, that is tied first in the NFL for least amount, right, Ricky? So Correct. they are not allowing a lot of 10-plus yard rushes. That would coincide with their low amount of yards allowed per game on the rushing attack in general. So this is a game where really you have to decide: are you going to stick with the run game and see if you can beat this defense into something that they haven't really given up all season? Or are you going to be creative and find different ways to win, which they did versus the Bucs? So we'll see what Dave Canales' plan is. At 8 rushing yards, rushing touchdowns allowed, tied second best in the NFL. Again, they're not giving up yards, they're not giving up touchdowns. They're playing some really good ball on defense, man. And this is a unit that should scare you. I mean, it should. It really should with the numbers they put up, but what the Carolina Panthers have showed is that they're not scared of the best teams that they play. They actually, in fact, the opposite. They look forward to these games, and they've shown this season the best teams they play are the best games that they play week in and week out. So we'll see if this is another game Carolina gets up for. But this unit, this defense, one of the best that they've played all year.
Yep, and that's important. The reason why I wanted to include those, Bryson, is because Carolina is going to need explosives. And one thing that we have talked about fairly consistently is that I wish they could facilitate some explosives in the run game, right? Because relying on the pass game to do it all the time is a difficult ask because the defense knows that and they can play covered shells to kind of eliminate that. But if your run game is dangerous, that's where they have to really account for everything. So this is going to be a really, really difficult test for the Carolina Panthers run game that is already having a tough time. This team shuts down the run game. Like, they are very, very good. They bring Imanwari down. They will have Leonard Williams moving around. Ernest Jones has been tremendous. Drake Thomas has been good. It's going to be a real test for him.
All right, chat. Let's get your predictions. And while we talk about that, I'm going to hit this giveaway quick. 2 tickets this weekend. Bryson talked about it. You did damn well at that, by the way. But 2 tickets to the game this weekend.
105 entries so far.
105 entries. I think we had more last time. So your odds are better this week, guys and gals. So enter. It's hashtag on tap. We will pick the winner after we do predictions. So you still have a little bit more time. Members, if you're a member, I'm telling you, members, if you become a member, it's only $4.99. You already automatically get 3 entries. So if you become a member, we'll put you in there. And then every $5 super chat gets you an extra entry. If you're smart and you want to go to this game cheap, tickets are like 120 plus. Spend some on the super chat. You might have a better chance. You might win this thing. So take advantage of all that. We appreciate every single one of you guys. Give us your predictions. We'll wait till Ricky gets back here to do those. But we appreciate y'all for tapping in. I know it's a Monday Night Football game. I'll tell you what. Colts came back. It's 34-27 right now. They were down, I want to say at one point, 34-20. So old man Rivers is doing it with his 100 kids.
Balling? Is he balling right now?
I don't know. I haven't been watching. I just looked at the score, and they're down by a touchdown with 9 minutes left. So
235 and 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good.
It's pretty damn good. He can still sling it, man. He's still got it. Beer gut and all, he's still got it.
We can go through these chats real quick before we get into our predictions, Curtis. OPM says, walk with me. Every time we have faced a team whose defense looks shitty on paper, based on stats, we underperform. A little reverse psychology, we hoop Sunday against this defense. I mean, that's a fair point. We touched on it. The Packers defense, the Rams defense. We've played good defenses and played good offense versus those guys. So, I mean, that's a very good point, OPM. Katie says she's got the Panthers, 31-28. Like that. Panthers tone, 30-27, Panthers. The chat's loving the Panthers this weekend. 24-21. Chris Dillard says the Panthers win. Taylon says, let's run it back, 23-30. I like that. Exact same score versus the Bucs. Then OPM gave us his prediction, 31-24 Panthers. So we got a clean sweep in the chat for picking the Carolina Panthers. Oh, my God. He brought out the whiskey. Folks. He's going to be hanging lights till 5 a.m., guys.
What are we going to do? We're not going to have cheers for the final Panthers games before the holidays? We're not going to do that?
Yeah,
I mean, come on, guys.
That. Hey, we
call ourselves
awesome.
respectable professional media members, and we're not drinking on camera a little bit heavily?
I want to hit these predictions, and we'll get to that. Osog 2017 Carolina. Pets in a bathtub. Can you imagine this score? 6-7. He's playing to the kids. The 6-7 bullshit going on. All right, Bryson, hit us here. What do you got?
Yeah, Carter's.
Well, no. Before we get to that, Ricky, I think wants to take this whiskey shot.
No, I'm not in any pressing manner. You guys get into your fun stuff.
All right. And then shout out OPM Hills 199.
No, we're hiding that. All right.
Duke wouldn't know nothing about that. All right. We are. I guess I'll go first with my prediction. We talk about the Seahawks defense. It is a scary unit. I don't think any of us disagree. It's a good unit. They've been a good unit all year. They've put up good numbers. But when I look at the offense of the Seattle Seahawks, their run game does not scare me. With those 2 running backs that have been inconsistent. I think Kenneth Walker is a really good player. I think Zach Charbonnet is a good player. But they've both been inconsistent throughout this entire year. Sam Darnold, I don't care what you tell me about how well he's playing. He's been a good quarterback for 2 years. He doesn't scare me as a quarterback either. He really doesn't. He's shown his especially here lately. He's had a couple games. Shout out Panthers 10. That's awesome. He's had a couple games where he's struggled. The Rams. I mean, he struggled versus the Rams recently through a couple picks, but then they ended up coming back and winning. So I guess I can't dog on them too much there. I think the bank is going to be rocking again. I think it's going to be the same as the Bucs, if not more, in regards to Panthers fans and the environment and the energy. I think the team is going to feel that. I think on the field, we're just going to see the team respond in a very positive way. So I'm going to take the Panthers in this game, man. I think that they come out and do another one of those signature wins for this year against a team where no one's picking them to win. I'm going to take the Panthers 21-17.
All right, let's hit these super chats, then we'll hear from Ricky here. So Panthers Tone, $9.99, that gives him 2 entries besides the membership.
Yes. Gotcha.
He says, drink Ricky. So cheers
Already
to you,
did.
sir.
Yeah, I already had the first one. Tone, you son of a Keaton. All right, hey, someone put a block on these super chats.
And then Katie hit you up with $4.99. That's another entry.
Gotcha.
And then Keaton as well, another one, Ricky.
I'm going to take Katie's right now. I'm going to take Katie's right now. And then I'm going to do my prediction. And then I'm going to let y'all talk for the rest of the show. Hey,
Y'all, you are going to see the fucking Clark Griswold of Charlotte, North Carolina in about 3 hours.
Oh, God.
I'm going to have to figure out. I'm going to end up taking like lamps from the living room and just plugging them up outside.
Oh, my God.
Cheers, Katie.
And then Talon also hit you up at the end.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
We're going to have to put parameters on this. Because one thing that will not happen here is 5 back-to-back shots. Can I talk about my prediction for a second before everyone tries to just kill me on the holidays?
Take a breather.
Okay. Katie, Ricky might die. Holy shit. Yeah, maybe. Fingers crossed, right? Okay. This Panthers game, it's easy to get nervous about when you see those numbers for Seattle, right? Seattle's good, dude, on both sides of the ball and their special teams. Let's don't remove that. When we looked at those points per game, and we didn't even really talk about how Rashid Shaheed has opened up that special teams element for this Seahawks team, right? Torrey Horton was their punt returner. Torrey Horton has been injured. Rashid Shaheed is dynamic, man. Their defense also puts up points. So one of the more core principles for this game is going to be playing clean for the Carolina Panthers. We saw the Seahawks play in Atlanta, 2 weeks ago? And Atlanta had them at halftime ready, like in prime position. And then the Seahawks flipped the switch, and it was a special team score that did it. This past week in a classic, probably, I don't know, I'd have to really go back and look at the results to say this with like surety. That might have been the best Thursday night football game to ever be played on Thursday night football between the Rams and the Seahawks, because Thursday night football has been notoriously poor, right? That game was tremendous. And when did it switch, though? It was 31-14 in the fourth quarter with like 9 minutes to go, and Rashid Shaheed took a punt return for a touchdown. I do have concerns about this Carolina Panthers special teams punt coverage and kick coverage against the Seahawks special teams. I do have concerns about this Panthers run defense against the Seahawks rushing offense because of the commitment that they show. One thing about the Carolina Panthers defense is that it can be solid for a stretch, and then they just get unglued, and a team that commits to it can take advantage of that. Sam Darnold has been better than you could imagine him being this season, in my opinion, at least. I thought that he would go from Kevin O'Connell to this Seahawks team with new receivers, new digs, new scheme, and it might be an adjustment for him, and that he may crumble a little bit mentally because of how good he was in Minnesota compared to how good he's been in his entire career, right? There was a lot of expectations. He's had a massive contract. He's lived up to it a bit, man. Like, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. He's been good. And I also saw, this is where I return a punt for a touchdown. I also saw Matt Stafford and the number one team in the NFC come to town, and the Carolina Panthers win. I also saw Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers go into the number one team in the NFC's home Stadium in Lambeau Field and secure a win. So the number one team in the NFC coming to Carolina this week, I'm not going to be super worried about it. I don't know for sure that we win this game, but I know for damn sure I ain't picking the Seattle Seahawks led by Sam Darnold to come in here and beat us. Baker Mayfield thought he was going to come in here and throw a mustache on and scare everybody into just submitting to his, revenge arc. Sam Darnold, maybe this is another notch on his belt. Maybe we pants this idiot. It don't matter if you're wearing a belt. You don't got nothing for us, man. Nick Scorton, get after it again. Hey, J.C. Horn, you didn't get targeted. At least that's what they say. You got targeted the one time. You had the pass interference in the end zone, whatever. It wasn't a pass interference. You were just being handsy. It's the same way that Jacob Parrish is being handsy all game, right? Be handsy again. Don't let Jackson Smith, don't let JSN get free releases. Y'all got to body that man. That man is dangerous, right? If they do the things that this Carolina Panthers team can do, they're going to win this football game. And they're going to break their roller coaster up and down, wins and losses. Don't forget this Panthers team has had a 3-win streak already this season. And that's what started the ups and downs, wins and losses. Did you know that? Did you look at the schedule? We had a 3-game win streak and then the roller coaster began. You know how the roller coaster ends? Climbing back up to the top to let everybody off right at the fucking playoffs. Carolina Panthers beat the Seattle Seahawks 27-24.
You want to take any of your shots, or are you good for now?
I've already taken 2. Just start talking and let me figure it out.
Okay.
Who was it that it was a player that was interviewed, and they were talking about coming to Bank of America Stadium, and the player said, I can't remember who it was in particular, but people think when they come to Bank of America Stadium that shit's sweet, and it's not sweet.
It ain't sweet.
It's not sweet, and I think the Seahawks are going to find out. I really do.
All right, we'll give Ricky a break here. Man, I'm shocked. The way y'all glazed them up in that, statistically speaking, thought for sure you'd be taking the Seahawks in this one.
How we glazed them up? We just
you glazed them up. Hey, I didn't jump in on your take. Give me my time. Give me my time. Y'all were glazing them up. You were talking very highly about the Seattle Seahawks. My biggest concern from this Seahawks team is a guy no one's talked about enough, and that's Rashid Shaheed. All right. 59-yard touchdown last year against Carolina and the Saints. A 47-yard punt return that set the Saints up for a touchdown. This guy's a difference maker, and he wreaks havoc every single time he plays Carolina. That is my biggest fear on this offense. He's got it dialed up, folks, in the chat. Ricky's got the shot dialed up. So offensively, that's my biggest fear. I think JSN, if they move him in the slot a lot more, I think they're going to have issues. Ricky, you missed it, but Shaw Smith-Wade, man, he's been getting on my fucking nerves, to say the least.
But wait. I thought when I talked about Shaw Smith-Wade, I thought I was a hater.
He's been getting on my nerves. He's been fucking slacking.
Okay.
Ricky was right again.
Yeah. I think Curtis should have eat one of my shots for that bullshit.
I think the defense is stout. There's no doubt about it. I think Mike McDaniel knows how to call. I just called him Mike McDaniel. He knows how to call a game.
Hey, we could use a good game from Mike McDaniel this week too.
Yes, we could.
That's true.
But you guys touched on it. Sam Darnold is coming to the bank. Sam Darnold, when he played the Jets last in Minnesota, was 17-31, 170 yards, a couple touchdowns and interception. Not good. He had 9 straight incompletions with the Minnesota Vikings against his former team, the New York Jets. So he's going to be playing Carolina for the first time at Bank of America Stadium. He's had 6 or 7 interceptions in the last 7 games. I think he's going to have the Los Angeles Rams game the first time they played. He had 4 interceptions in that game. He was seeing ghosts, and it was a low-scoring game. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. You guys talked about the defense. I think they're going to be special for Seattle. So I think it's going to be low-scoring. I'll go 21-17, and Bryce Young yet again beats the 2 quarterbacks that everyone's been worrying about, the Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold standing in their way. He gets it done. Carolina wins this one 21-17 in a very close game. But if they can control what they did in Green Bay against the Seattle Seahawks, I think they win this one.
Curtis, you picked the exact same score that I did.
That's fine. I don't care. That's the score I picked. I don't give a shit.
All right. Well, 21-17 it is then.
Ricky, you want to say something? I can see the smirk.
I'm not sure I can.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, hey, Chad, I want to shout out to Chad for fucking Ricky up in about an hour and a half.
and next week, chat, just so that you're real clear on this, it is Curtis's turn to take shots for every $5 super chat.
Hell no, it isn't.
And so, hey, listen to me,
happening.
chat. Save a little bit of that Christmas money. Save just a little bit. Save $5, man. Just take a little bit off the top. Say, hey, this is for Curtis and his stinky pirate hat, right? This is for Curtis and his seagull hat. We're all going to be throwing little pieces of bread and crackers at Curtis next week because he's going to be dressed up like a seagull, right? Not a Seahawk. These little seagulls, little seabirds. Ain't shit. All right, do I got one more shot I'm supposed to take? Is that I'm supposed to take 5?
I think you're good, buddy.
No,
I
you're
think
good.
you've done them.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
You sure? The chat said 5.
I'm pretty sure you've taken the.
Have we? Hold on. Have we hit all these super chats though? Seriously, not like Ricky wise, but like just
not Ricky wise.
Yeah,
not
no,
the ones
Ricky
that are
has.
going to kill our
We
Ricky
haven't
has.
really
I do.
shouted them out.
yeah. There was a couple we missed. So cheers, you guys.
Taylor, shout out, man. Thank you for making Ricky take those. We appreciate that. And then Osdog came in, clutch at the end there. Chug, Ricky.
Ricky or Bryson, do you have the wheel set with all these super chats?
Yep, the wheel is good to go.
All right. Well, hey, I just want to thank everyone.
This is y'all on some dumb shit, but keep pounding. Hey, look, man. If it's a cup of tea, go to one of the other fucking podcasts. I'm just gonna be honest with you, dog.
Boy.
Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but like, don't tell us that we're being dumb, man. We're enjoying ourselves and doing our show. It's a fun show, man. If you don't like it, there's other ones, and I agree with you. Keep pounding.
And with that, let's hit this.
And now hold on, because
we gotta get back to it.
yeah, and Amp Life. Let me just slow myself down here. You said no, it's good. Dumb shit is a compliment. Hey, look, you gotta excuse me, man. I'm how old am I? How old am I? No, how old am I? I'm like 40 years old. About. I don't know. Dumb shit doesn't sound like good shit to me. Like, I've been told that I do dumb shit my whole life, and it's usually after I did some dumb shit and I got in trouble for it, right? So when you say y'all are on some dumb shit but keep pounding, for me, that sounds a whole lot like, hey, y'all are on some dumb shit, man, but keep pounding. Maybe I am on some dumb shit because I just took 4 shots back to back, and now it's, time to go decorate the outside again.
To be fair, I didn't think it was a compliment either, but maybe we misread that. And we apologize.
And amped for life, if I misread it, my friend, apologies, and we're good.
And before I pull up the wheel, I'm going to give everybody one more chance to get into this giveaway here.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, Phillip Rivers just got picked 6th. This game, 49ers might put 50 points up on the board here.
I haven't seen a single lick of that football game, man. Has Phillip Rivers looked exactly like you would expect Phillip Rivers to look?
He looked.
He was playing well.
He hung in
before
there
the
for a
pick
while,
six.
honestly. Like probably there was 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They were down a touchdown. It's now 48-27.
Oh
So,
man, ouch.
yeah, it got out of hand.
Yeah,
Has
Rivers
Christian McCaffrey done well? Because I'm in this battle with Dunk, our good buddy Dunk on Demand.
Yeah.
I'm in a battle with Dunk on Demand to try to get into the championship of one of our fantasy leagues, and I needed a big night from Christian McCaffrey.
He's got 117 yards,
21 carries.
I don't know what his receptions are, or his catch. He's got
No
6
touchdowns?
receptions though. 6
No
receptions.
touchdowns? No fucking
I
touchdowns?
don't think so.
God,
You got
damn.
Kittle by any chance? Kittle's got
No, I don't.
7
Christian
receptions,
McCaffrey's all I
115
got, man. You know
touchdown.
what? Hey, shout out Dunk, you superstar celebrities, SOB.
No, he's got a. Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't have a touchdown. Sorry.
Congratulations, Dunk.
All right, last
All right,
chance
let's do
to
it.
get in on the giveaway. 110 people comment on hashtag on tap. I'm going to pull
He's got a
it up.
reception touchdown. There you go.
Hey, you liars. You liars. Chat, I love you
2
so much.
receiving touchdowns.
Chat, I love you so much. They were trying to
Wow.
lie to me. They almost had me down for the count, chat.
CMC went dummy. Okay. All right, let me share my screen here and get the wheel pulled up.
Hey,
Let
you
me
might have
know
won
if
that one, Ricky.
you guys
You
can
might
see
be
it here.
wrong. Oh, not that one. There you go.
You can see it?
No, we can't see it.
I don't know why it does this every time I have to share my screen twice. Give me one
I wasn't
second.
going to answer
There
that.
it is.
I wasn't going to answer
Oh,
that.
you
because
had it.
I've taken 4 shots, so I wasn't going to say if I could see it or not.
All right, here we go. I'll give it a second this time. Apparently, it takes a minute for it to pop up.
There it is.
All right.
Just to let y'all know
110.
real quick,
Oh, Proco. Can you get Proco in here?
hey, hold on real quick before he
Proco?
does this. Yeah, I'll give you a second to do Proco because before we do this, I just want to update the chat real fast. My score for this week is 161.20. Dunk is 161.22 right now.
Oh,
my
no.
God.
So if Christian McCaffrey doesn't touch that football again with 3:26 to go, do they have the ball? Can anyone tell me if San Francisco has the football? Because if he doesn't touch that football again, this
No,
is
it's
gonna be the biggest heartbreaker for me.
Colts got it with Leonard. Leonard's in at quarterback too. They benched Rivers.
I'm toast, dude. Christian won't to play again.
All right, Bryce. Here we go. This is 2 Seattle Seahawks tickets this weekend. Section 535, row 20. Big game this weekend against Sam Darnold. Spin that thing.
Ayo Mod. Please, if you're still in the chat, please comment again. Send us an email or something how we can contact you. I think
Before
that was
you go on, though, yeah, but we're gonna pick another like 2 or 3 just to be safe.
Yeah.
We want these tickets to go to someone that's actually going to go to the game. So I want to preface that. But yeah, let's do it a couple more times. We always try to do this just to be safe, just in case.
And then chat, throw in here if you would be interested in a single ticket too, because I might up the ante.
All right.
Maybe I decorate your Christmas holiday with a free ticket to the Panthers game.
All right, we're gonna go again here for the backup. Hayden,
that's one of our members. So
All
members, yeah.
I'm gonna go one more just in case. Oh, look at that.
Panthers bow. So I just want to throw this out there and reiterate this because we didn't get a ton of members tonight. Members have a leg up in these. 2 of our members took second and third in this one. Obviously, they didn't get the first one, but 2 out of 3 hit on this. So if you are a member, you get a leg up in our giveaways, and that is by design. We reward our members because they pay a monthly fee to be a member. So I just want to shout them out quickly here. But congrats to everyone. Please hit us up on Twitter if you won. And then we'll move forward from there. We appreciate every single one of you guys. I know it was Monday Night Football. We did this very last minute show. We wanted to get everything in before the holidays. So we want to thank everyone for tuning in. I know it's a Monday Night Football game. We competed against ESPN. I think we did pretty damn well, honestly. Luke Kuechly was even on ESPN2 doing more of a, what was it? It was him and Dan Orlovsky doing more of, what was the like Gen X stats or something they were doing. I tuned in for a little bit for what they were doing.
Are we going to do any kind of like, what are we cooking for Christmas or anything like that?
Yeah,
I'm a little disappointed. You got this fucking reindeer sweater on. I got my.
We're doing the end. Yeah, I was saving it for the end. So I want to get your guys, because I posted this on Twitter a couple weeks ago. So first, let's do your top 3 Christmas movies, and then we'll do your favorite holiday dish. But let's start with the movies. We'll give you guys a little bit of time, or if you want to start with the dishes to give you a little bit
Bryson,
more.
can you go first? Or do
you
have
enough? Top 3 Christmas movies. Let's do Christmas movies.
You guys passed to me.
Do you have enough? Or let's pass it to Curtis.
Me. Yeah, I have mine ready. Yeah.
Curtis.
So let me put this up here so we can get the chat involved here. Top Christmas.
Trying to find a winner in the chat right now.
So this game's over with. I tweeted this out and I want to make sure I had this right. So, let's see here. Because I want to say it was Monty was posting this on Twitter about his
top. Yeah,
Monty
had a good thread there going about the top Christmas movies.
This has shifted for me, honestly. When I was younger, I would probably go A Christmas Story first. But my wife's family was really big into Christmas Vacation. And I watched it a shit ton ever since I met her, honestly. And it's won me over. I don't know how this isn't the top Christmas movie. It is so good.
She has hit you with what Kim, R&B recording artist, has said is change your life.
Exactly. So my top Christmas movies is Christmas Vacation. Then it's A Christmas Story. I watch it. It runs on TBS 24 hours straight on Christmas Eve. If you don't know, it was my childhood, was A Christmas Story. And then Home Alone has always been a classic. I think Home Alone and not being in the top 5 is criminal, if you're asking me. So those are my top 3. I'll give you my top 5 since we're here. You guys can give your top 3. How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey has been one of my favorites always. I don't think Ricky's a big fan. I don't know where Bryson stands in that. And then another one of my childhood, always. I mean, this was probably top 2 for me as a kid, was Jingle All the Way. We watched that all the damn time. I can quote that movie. It reminds me of my childhood because we had Christmases where someone didn't get something and lost their shit over not getting it. So I understand wholeheartedly about getting the it's turbo time.
It's turbo time, man. I love that shit. Where's the Christmas spirit?
Those are my top 5. All right, I gave you guys enough time. Bryson, top 3. Let's go.
All right, my number 1 is one I grew up on. I think it was my first movie, like DVD or I think it was VHS actually that I owned, and it's Elf. I love Elf. Yeah. I love it with Will Ferrell. I watch it every year. It's one that gets rerun on TV all the time. I think it's funny. I think it's wholehearted, like just a good vibe of Christmas and learning the Christmas spirit and eating spaghetti with M&Ms and syrup on it. Like it doesn't get better than that. And then I do like Christmas Vacation as well. I would say that's my second favorite. I think just, every time I watch it, it's funny every single year. Shitter's Full. I mean, that gets me every single time. And then 3, I will go Home Alone. I mean, that's just a classic as well. I mean, all of them, they're all so good. It's just like an American culture staple. So I would go Elf, Christmas Vacation, and then Home Alone for my top 3.
Man, that is such a sturdy top 3. And I feel like mine might be the same movies, but in different order, possibly.
Okay.
So for me, number 1 is not difficult at all. If I actually had to rank this in like the 3 movies that I would watch like in a row, top Christmas movies, like on Christmas Day, if you could watch 3 movies in a row, right? It would be the same movie. Christmas Vacation for me is it. The way that Clark Griswold loves Christmas, sure, but loves his family and wants to like impress his family with everything that he does, right? But then when everything just turns to shit and he's just sort of like, okay, yeah, you guys want to be assholes? You want to be crazy? I'll show you crazy. No problem. I'll show you crazy. And he loses his mind. It's the way I feel almost every Christmas. And I love it. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I love my family, but we host like 16 people a year over at my 1,500 square foot house. Like we fit 8 people, 7 people really at our dinner table. And then we have 3 card tables for everybody else. And then I get a prime rib roast. Then I get salmon because some people don't like beef. We do all the crazy stuff. And then I try to put over 2,000 lights out on front of the house every single year. The blow mold's big for me too. So when Clark was out there beating the living shit out of Santa and his reindeer, I love that. I just think that the way that Clark thinks about Christmas, my in-laws, my in-law family, literally call me Sparky and Clark Griswold during the holiday season. So I cannot go against it. That's my 1. Number 2, you know what, man? I think I'll go Elf there, to be honest. And like that is difficult for me because I have a lot of classics that I like. Oh, shout out to Talon because Talon said Scrooged. And Scrooge is a movie that I never see get the love that I think that it deserves because I love the whole like Scrooged, you know, Ghost of Christmas Past, Ghost of Christmas Present, and Ghost of Christmas Future. I love that story, but Bill Murray doing it as a TV executive on like a live Christmas special, man, I resonate with that. I think it's fantastic. I think it's terrific. I'm a big Bill Murray guy too. So Bill Murray's great in it. But I'm going to go Elf because, first of all, Elf, I think, is my kid's favorite movie. I just let him watch Christmas Vacation for the first time this year. He's 7. And he watched it, and some of it went over his head. Like, my favorite parts went over his head, right? The scene in the department store with Mary is by far my favorite scene at Christmas Vacation. When he sits there and he's like, yeah, it's a bit nipply. What did I say? Nipple? Did I say nipple? I mean, it's nipply outside. And then looks and she says, can I take something else out for you? And he just looked at her and stop. Like, fucking stop. Like, I didn't mean a log. Not like I said it. Like, there's just so much to that I sit there and I appreciate how Chevy Chase did that. I thought it was terrific. But my kid loves Elf. Elf is one of my favorite things, too. We've seen it live on Broadway. We're going to The Grinch this year. The Grinch is tremendous. I want to give that as I will go a different Grinch, though, and I'm not giving this as my 3rd, but just as a little consolidation prize. The animated Grinch that Tyler, the Creator, does the soundtrack for that just came out recently in the last, like, 3 or 4 years.
With, hold on, because I think I watched that today.
Yeah, who's the guy? Benedict Cumberland is the Grinch, I think. He does the voiceover.
So it's not Pharrell Williams? Not that one?
Is it Cumberbatch? Is it Benedict Cumberbatch?
I think so.
Okay. Benedict not gonna work here anymore, so it doesn't matter. No, but like literally that the animated version, man, it is really cool. And Tyler the Creator does all the soundtrack, and the soundtrack.
Yeah, that's the one I watched today. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's got Kenan Thompson is one of the characters.
Yes,
and he's hilarious.
He's so good in that.
He's hilarious. Cumberbatch, thank you, Carter. I think it's absolutely tremendous, and I think it is very underrated. It's got great music. It's got great festivity.
Pharrell Williams did the sound on that too. I thought he was in it. I was like, you were throwing me off with the Tyler the Creator, but yeah, they're both.
Tyler the Creator's the one that did the Grinch. So never mind. Don't worry about it. Number three. Number 3 for me, man. I mean, this is tough, dude. Home Alone has to be there because Home Alone was like a staple for me. But Jingle All the Way 1000% competes with that. I'm going to tell you a 3rd one, though, that competes with my 3rd spot that y'all are going to be like, dude, what are you talking about? It's a new movie.
Die Hard.
No, it's a new movie.
That's not a Christmas
It's a new movie.
We're not talking about that damn movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. God, what's the name of it?
What's it gonna be?
It's got the dude.
It's got Kurt Russell in it. Kurt Russell is Santa Claus.
Oh, I think I've seen that. That
The
one
Christmas
just came out.
Chronicles.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of.
The Christmas
That's on
Chronicles,
Netflix, right? Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Christmas Chronicles is really good. I
It's
don't know that it
decent.
will
It's
make my
not
top 3.
five.
No. I don't think that it's going to crack Home Alone or what was the other one that I just said? Jingle All the Way. And the other one is the Santa Claus. The Santa Claus is big for me with Tim Allen.
I just never got into those, man.
Oh, dude, that was tremendous for me. The Santa Claus was like a big one for me. When he went to Denny's with his son and sat there and he looked at the other dad across the way and he's like, "Did you burn a turkey?" And he holds up his hand with a little bandage on it. He's like, "Yeah." I love that. And then like his whole thing with a rose, such a clatter, and he found a fucking ladder outside. And it says a rose, such a ladder company. And he's like, "I told you, Dad, it arose such a clatter." I love it. I think it's hilarious. The elf in there was such a pessimistic little prick. It's tremendous Christmas family opportunity. But honestly, dude, I could sit here and talk about Christmas movies for the next like 3 hours.
Same.
Can I give one other suggestion for listeners that maybe have never watched it? And maybe you guys have never watched it? On Hulu, there is a movie called The Happiest Season. It is tremendous with Kristen Stewart and a couple other like big name actresses. It's a
like
new
a
age.
Hallmark.
Say what?
Is this like a Hallmark?
No, it's on Hulu. No, it's on Hulu.
Right.
And it's very funny, man. It's got, Kristen Stewart is dating the daughter of this family, and she has not come out to the family, so she still is like with her boyfriend. But like Audrey Plaza's in it, and she's like this smoking hot chick that makes her like think twice about it all. But it's a great soundtrack, and it's a classic like what kind of shenanigans are going to happen next type of holiday movie. And it's on Hulu, and it is fantastic, and we watch it every year as a family. Really funny movie, man. So I would suggest
the movie I was thinking of is The Holdovers. I haven't seen it
with Paul Giamatti, dude. So good, so good, dude. No, I'm going to tell you right now, dude, that is fire. The Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers is fire. And then here's Pets in the Bathtub. Will you Die Hard on that?
We're not discussing this. Have you
Die Hard's
seen?
Not a Christmas movie?
No. Have you seen? What do you think of The Christmas Party? And I know that's kind of.
Is that The Office Christmas Party? With Jason Bateman?
Yes.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Twas the Night Before with Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes.
That's a good one too.
Like, good one.
There are so many, dude.
I do want to hit this one because there's not a lot of newer Christmas movies I feel like that crack the top 10 of anyone's Christmas movie top list. And this one, if you have not seen this movie, you need to see it.
I haven't seen that one either.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix, right?
It's called Klaus, and it's unique for a Christmas movie. It's an animation, but it's not your typical like Christmas movie that every animation makes. Okay. So check that one out. I don't want to compare it to this because I'm not a big fan of the Tim Burton films, but it kind of gives off that vibe. Dude, don't get me wrong, I love Beetlejuice, but it does like the Christmas Tim Burton movies. You could kind of get that vibe a little bit.
Nightmare Before Christmas, dude.
No, I couldn't get into that.
Oh, you fucker!
I'm scared.
But this movie you have to see. It is in my top 10 movies, Christmas movies. It's so damn good. So shout out.
Now we got a discuss Christmas music. Hey, look, I if y'all want to stay on here for the next 3 hours, I'm locked in. I've got a bottle of Eagle Rare. I will sit here and do this for the rest of my life. All right, real quick. Christmas music. It's Elvis Presley. It's Mariah Carey.
Bing Crosby. You have to mention Bing Crosby.
I don't have to.
Yes,
it's
you do.
Elvis Presley. It's
that
Mariah
is the
Carey.
King of Christmas.
It's Otis Redding has some great Christmas music.
You're crazy.
Bing Crosby. Yeah, Bing Crosby's great. Frank
Justin
Sinatra.
Bieber.
Frank Sinatra. Let's also not discredit Michael Bublé. I know a lot of people think Michael Bublé is full of shit, and he usually is. But
You
Michael
mentioned
Bublé and
Mariah
Christmas.
Carey. I don't want to hear any of your opinions after that.
What?
She said Mariah Carey. You don't
one
like
of the
Mariah
most
Carey? Are you
famous
shitting me? She's
No,
the
Christmas
Christmas
songs of all time.
that song is terrible.
And speaking of Mariah Carey, how about Love Actually for a great Christmas movie?
Yeah, that is a
Fucking
good one.
fantastic.
Very good.
You said Mariah Carey. You know what? I don't know that I can do this show anymore. After what he just said, I don't know that I can continue on with this show
I don't believe you,
anymore.
Ricky. I don't know where he came from with that.
I
How
like
about-
Mele Kalikimaka. That's what I
Mele
like.
Kaliki Maka, you can't even say it.
That's
You
what I
couldn't
like.
even say it
One of my favorites.
when you can say it. When you sing it, do you sing it like Mekaliki Maka is a thing to say?
Dude, I've had a couple of strong beers. Give me a damn break.
I've had 5 shots. What are we doing? Comparing? Are we putting it right there on the table for everyone to see it? Okay, real quick. What are you cooking for Christmas?
Yes. Go ahead, Bryson. I'm gonna go last.
I am not
first.
cooking anything.
Lucky dog.
So
No,
our
favorite
plan.
Christmas dish. No, what's your favorite Christmas dish?
Oh, I
Okay.
was asking what he was cooking, but yeah, let's go
Yeah.
favorite Christmas dish and then what we're doing.
So my favorite Christmas dish. I mean, I go ham. I like ham, especially when it's smoked with, a nice glaze on the outside, and it's got that kind of like almost jerky texture to it. I like that a lot. So I'll go ham, and then my plan for Christmas Day is to get things to eat at the house, such as popcorn and stream Stranger Things, the part 2 that comes out on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I'm gonna be late to that. I'm so disappointed. I'm gonna be late to that.
Y'all do Christmas so different than me. Like, it's wild to hear
We're
this.
gonna
Like,
end on Ricky. Actually, let's end on Ricky. We were very traditional as a family when it came to like Christmas meal. It was ham, mashed potatoes. At least in the Midwest, that was like your typical Christmas meal. So for me, it was always ham, mashed potatoes, and my dad would make like a sweet gravy that was I don't think it's around here. I don't think they do it down here,
did
but
you say a sweet gravy?
yes.
What in the
And
world?
it was perfect on ham. It's amazing on mashed potatoes. I'd have to make it for you sometime. I don't know if I made it for Bryson. I might have made it one time, but it is
Yeah, you
so
did.
fucking good.
It was good. It was really good.
Okay.
So that is like my go-to. This year, my wife's family does very untraditional Christmas. They used to do like a Christmas cook-off, and we would vote on who would win. And like her mom would make a dish, her dad would make a dish, and then we would vote on it, and we would pick a winner every year. This year they're doing ribeye, which I will never complain about. So it's very, like I said, it's very untraditional, but I will take
That's
it.
not super untraditional.
I will never turn down steak. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
So my favorite dish is the same dish that I'm cooking this year. We go over to my wife's grandparents every single Christmas Eve, which is a wonderful tradition. I have enjoyed it thoroughly since marrying into the greatest family you could ever marry into. My in-laws are the best. But they do a Christmas dinner or a Christmas Eve dinner over at the grandparents' house, which is in this beautiful old home. And her Grammy always cooks either prime rib or beef tenderloin. And it's always dependent on what she likes the most. This year she's cooking beef tenderloin. She's cooked prime rib the past, 5-6 years. And so it opened up an avenue for me, boys. I get to cook prime rib this year, and I'm going to tell you right now, I love a standing prime rib roast. I got a 13.3 pound Wagyu Snake River Farms bone-in prime rib roast that I am going to put on that PK 360, and I'm going to layer that little baby with some
Put the donut on the Christmas meal.
Maple and pecan wood smoke lightly, just kissing the outer regions of it. And then I'm going to have this nice slather of herbs and garlic and butter and a little bit of like Cajun seasoning.
You want us to leave you alone?
Yeah, no. Hey, no, turn the lights down. Turn the lights down a little bit. But I'm gonna do that, and then we got some cheesy scallop potatoes. I'm doing bacon green bean bundles. It's a nice Southern tradition where you blanch the green beans to keep them nice and green. Then you wrap them in an applewood smoked bacon, and then you put a little bit of a brown sugar butter and thyme drizzle over them. Toss them in the oven for about 15, 20 minutes. Let them get a little bit roasty. Then we're going to have a nice salad. And then my grandmother, God rest her soul, she made my favorite pie in the world, which is a sour cream apple pie with a cinnamon streusel on top. And I will always make that pie for her because it's a shame if the world doesn't get that pie. So I've carried on making that pie for her.
Damn. I need
Pie
to come
sounds-
over.
And then we've got
Amazing.
like $300 of red and white wine that is just going to be sporadically filled amongst the house throughout the night.
Sounds like a
and
hell
then-
of a day, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big time day over here.
I love it. Hey, we appreciate every single one. Dude, 700 almost listen to us talk about Christmas movies and Christmas.
Love y'all, dude. I love y'all. Hey, happy holidays to every single listener
Yes.
of Panthers on Tap. Whether you celebrate Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, any other holiday that you celebrate, I appreciate you tuning in to us on Wednesdays and sometimes Mondays. And not to confuse Panthers Bow, but even Tuesdays and Thursdays. I appreciate every single person, man, that logs in and watches us do this thing. I love y'all, man. Happy holidays.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Seriously. We don't do this without y'all. It's been great with the Panthers winning. It's been fun. The victory videos, everything in between. So appreciate every single one of you guys. The winners of the ticket giveaway, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know. If we don't have movement in a couple days, we're going to move on to the next person. So we just want to thank every single one of you guys. You guys have a Merry Christmas. And until then, as always, keep pounding.